Thank you for coming. And we also have another jewel from the southwest western part of Nigeria, in the person of Mrs. Ibuku Shika. Thank you. Also, a lady who celebrated her 80th birthday not too long ago, thanking God for her life, thanking God for 60 years of marriage. She's graced us with her presence. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Alabota Dame, is it? Professor Dr. Peace aside, she's also Fubara. Thank you very much for joining us today, and happy birthday, madam. Thank you. The man amongst us who is blessed in our midst, he is engineer Sir Atokiye Tom Bomiye, OON, FNSE, FNSHE, former EVP Upstream NMPC Limited. Welcome. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Ladies, you must promise to embarrass him.
To all our guest speakers who are in our midst, we want to recognize you. Dr. Elizabeth Kingswani, thank you for coming. She's also a personal friend and an investor. Thank you for coming. Kalini Njoku, thank you so much for coming. Last night we met a lady and we called her Symphony. And everybody, please welcome, recognize her. I'm not sure. Okay. Mr. J. Alabara will be joining us later. Awoma Wogu, welcome. And to all ladies and gentlemen, you are warmly welcome. Do we have representatives of all our sponsors? We just want to recognize all of them and thank you for sponsoring this grand event. Manuela Group, thank you. Representative from Guinness, are you here? Thank you so much. NDDC, Niger Delta Corporation, thank you so much. Do we have representative from Century Group? We honor you, thank you very much. And International Breweries PLC, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all special guests. Welcome again. So, quickly would like to introduce all the Kilali tribe sisters who are here. And as I call your name, please make your way to the front. Let's get to know you. First is Kalani Fubara, Managing Director of the York Development Company. Please, a round of applause. Please come to the front. Dr. Imowe B, EveafriqueNews Legal Finance and Business Risk Management. Please come to the front. Our Beam Albert Brown, CEO, CP Harcourt Investment Limited. Please come to the front. Viola Graham Douglas, Director of Communications, Public Affairs and Sustainability Development, Lafarge. Please come out. A round of applause. Please keep it coming. Orifie Uyo, External Relationship Strategies and Executive Life Coach. Welcome. Yolanda Okereke, our teenager, Creative Director, The Rani Company. Please make your way to the front. And our military woman, Atianu Adiele Ogbo, CEO, Manuela Group, come to the front. Let us also recognize in absentia other members who would have loved to be here but are not here. Sophia, oh my goodness. Dr. Sophia, please come to the front. Please, my mistake. Please don't punish me for that. Please come to the front. Christine Idoneboye, she's not here, would have loved to be here. Osepribo Ben Willie, and our chair, Dr. Tonye Ifie Sekibo. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Ichechi Okonkwo, CEO of Lagos, and myself, Etemere Glover, I am the CEO of the Taxi Justice Foundation and one of the members of the Kilali tribe. So I'll be handing over this microphone to the next one and I'm going down to take a picture, please. Please come to the front. Please, we really appreciate that. So people who come in late can come behind. And I also would like to mention and recognize one of the sponsors, Lafarge Group. Please, a round of applause. It's not easy. So next on the agenda is the welcome address by the chairperson. But this year, we're going to tell it in story form. Next slide. We're going to tell it in story form. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome the CEO of Creative Directors of Valley Company, Yolanda Okereke, to tell us the story about Kilali Drive. Please. Thank you. Our teenager.
Hello, everybody. I wasn't expecting this happened like 2 days ago. Such a good month. Okay. Let me try. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So good to have all of you here, and everybody on the table, every speaker. It's so good to have you here for part of with us. I hope the knowledge we get today will be used and impacted a lot in our lives. My name is Yolanda Okereke. I'm the CEO and Creative Director of the Valley Company. I'm a filmmaker and a fashion entrepreneur. I'm here speaking on behalf of the President of Kilali Tribe, Dr. Tonya Versigable, who unfortunately cannot be here with us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and friends, I'm delighted to welcome you all here for our 3rd annual Women's Empowerment Conference. We promise you an amazing day ahead of us with the support of all our sponsors focused on embracing change and unlocking our boundless potential. Now, more than ever, we need tips on work, life inspiration, up-to-date career and business development strategies, as well as a better understanding of current technological advances. Not only do we have these, but we also have a musical interlude and a fireside chat with our very own Kalime. So good to have you here. For the benefit of those who don't know a brief history of the Kilali tribe, we are made up of 14 incredible women who attended the remarkable Mrs. Ibukwawushika Leadership Conference in March 2022 in Dubai. We are so privileged to have her in person with us today. Can we give a round of applause? Thank you. We immediately felt the bond amongst ourselves and noticed that with all the talent and resources to be found in our home state, we were not seeing as many of our women in the spaces where we would like them to be, in the C-suite, as heads of organizations and businesses, as entrepreneurs. We felt very strongly led to come together as the Kilali Precious Jewel Tribe, determined to empower ourselves and others with a focus on women and girls, particularly from our home states, Rivers and Bayelsa. As Kilali Sisters, we continue to support and uplift ourselves and others through masterclasses and this annual conference. This year, we also have a competition with prizes that showcase our determination to impact the women and girls of the Niger Delta, and this will come up later. Our vision is that we all merge as strong, powerful women, impact our community, and become catalysts for change. So today, I encourage you to listen carefully, ask questions, be part of this awesome day we have lined up. This is your future. Make the most of this opportunity. We have the most insightful speaker. a group of eminent women and men who are leaders in the field, well known and respected with track records for positively impacting our community. I would like to also thank our fantastic sponsors, NDDC, Lafarge, International Brewery, Century Group, Guinness, Nigeria, without whom this day would not have been possible. Welcome again to this exceptional day of sisterhood and empowerment. Perhaps next year, you will encourage a friend, sister, or daughter to come along. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Yolanda Okirike, for that warm welcome on behalf of the chairperson of the Kilali tribe. Is everyone happy? Great. Then wear some smile. It doesn't cost anything, so please smile. Aha, thank you. Now, we're going into something very important. Please, your welcome address has been done. Now the keynote speech. I'd like to read the bio of this person. When I saw her profile, I said, no, this person must be rebranded as the jewel of the Niger Delta. As I called her this morning, and please let her speak, because we need to celebrate our own. Because nobody will celebrate us if we do not celebrate ourselves. And so when we see such a person, please give honor, as the Bible says, to whom honor is due. A thoroughbred teacher, River State born, then Christy. Started teaching in 1963 at 22 and has maintained her lifelong commitment to teaching, deepened with degrees in education from the University College Cardiff BA Honours, University of Bath, both in Britain, and a PhD in education from the University of Port Harcourt in 1990. From the River State College of Education earlier in 1975, that is where she got her NCE. Owing to sheer hard work, she climbed the ladder to the position of principal. Her feat as principal of St. Scholastica Girls High School, Bacana, River State, between 1979 and 1981. A school she restored from reputational risk. Also as principal of the Holy Rosary Secondary School in Port Harcourt, 1982 to 1988, I beg your pardon. She left behind the same legacy of enforcing high standards, same as sole administrator of Delta Hotels Limited, a chain of 14 government-owned guest houses. Successfully breathed life in between 1995 and 1999, turning around the rundown conglomerate into a highly functional company. In recognition of administrative acumen, the Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM, conferred on her a Chris Bebe Awardee in 2003, and a fellowship was also conferred to her later. That is worthy of honor. A former national vice president, she is the council member of the Institute, a knight of the Anglican Church alongside her husband, Alabo Gabriel Toby, former deputy governor of River State, and a leading light from Opobo Kingdom. She has served as a lay secretary, Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, for the past 12 years, having served as a lay preacher for several years. Until recently, she was the chief commissioner of the Nigerian Girls Guide Association of Nigeria, a group led by unprecedented hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome to the stage with a standing ovation. Join me to make welcome Dame Christy Toby to give the keynote speech for this morning. A woman worthy of honor, a jewel of the Niger Delta, a daughter of River State. Please join me to make welcome as she gives her keynote speech. Thank you very much, ma'am. It is my honor. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Thank you very much.
at these beautiful girls, most of them without glasses, so I thought I was the same age with them. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
I have spoken to you all before. People came here to see them, not you. So you have to find a way to step to the side, please. All the way to the side. Yeah, they're saying thank you. All the way to the side.
Maybe they can look for seat and sit at the side. They may look for seat and sit at the side.
It's on the chair. This is a very interactive session. If you're unhappy with anything, I was unhappy, I'm happy.
Distinguished, beautiful Mr. Washington. I don't know how many of you who see her each time positively on the television. She is a pride to womanhood. Esteemed guests, I have my young son there. God bless you. Ladies, I don't want to say gentlemen, I said the men who dared us to be here. You are great. It's not easy for men to feel comfortable among women, but blessed art thou amongst women. I'm excited to be here today at this remarkable Kilali Ladies Conference. Yes, indeed. When you think of decades ago, in fact, beyond a century, when Niger Delta women were active, defying all odds to make their voices heard, you will not be surprised that the Kilali women are now resonating and doing exactly the same thing today. Thank you very much. My joy is many, hundredfold, because I have known some of the organizers from the day they were born. Some of them are laughing. And I am proud of the women they have grown to become. Prouder even more because they have not only become excellent professionals, wives, mothers, caregivers, they have also elected to be intentional in mentoring the next generation of women. Thank you very much. This is noteworthy and extremely commendable. As a mother and an educator myself, nothing brings me greater joy than to see intentional mentoring. It is for this reason that I extend my deepest gratitude to the organizers for creating this wonderful opportunity for us to connect, share, and grow under the theme, embrace learning. The key to sustain business and personal development. Learning is constant if you want to grow. As women, we wear many hats. Business leaders, professionals, mothers, daughters, partners, and friends. We are constantly balancing these roles while striving to achieve our own personal and professional growth. It is no easy feat. Children don't know what to go through, but we thank God some of them do. But we find ourselves navigating even when we feel like we are rudderless. However, finding the right tools and support will need to be effective in some of or all of the roles we play in a daily quest. What is key for us today, though, is the fact that the most powerful tool that can help us manage these diverse roles and find the growth and balance we all see is constant learning. Learning, as I said earlier, is constant. Abigail Adams once said, learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence. End of quote. Today, I want us to explore how embracing continuous learning can become the key to sustain business personal development, enabling us to thrive amidst all life challenges. Let me start with my own story. I was a very young teenage girl, 13, 14, when my dad chose my career for me. They wanted me to be a teacher. I passed the entrance examination to go to one of the foremost girls' secondary schools in then Eastern Nigeria at the Crowther Memorial Girls' Secondary School level. But faith and advice from a close friend of the family, who was a headmaster, advised my father to send me to a modern school rather than a secondary school if he wanted me. And he wanted to be sure I have to be a teacher. As far as his friend understood, any other route might make it impossible for my father to insist on me becoming a teacher, as I may prepare to change course and my career. So up to modern school I went, the Monica Girls School, Onisha. A struggling young teenage girl, sitting side by side with much older girls. In those days, modern schools were regarded as schools for those who couldn't make the cut-off secondary school mark. I felt pain. But right there, I told myself that going to modern school will not be a limitation, but rather an enhancement to me or for me. I told God, no one who was my mate will outperform me. It was a decision I took. A little girl, but I took that decision. Professionally or academically. I stand to his glory to say God bless his soul. Not only did I go through all my academic institutions with flying colors, I reached the peak of my career at a very young age, and even now, a doctorate degree. Regardless, I continue to learn, read, and improve myself attending conferences. By attending conferences, trainings, and seminars across disciplines and around the world. I thank you for coming, because your presence here, by the time you go, you will pick at least one thing. And when you say you attend conference and you spend your money or your time, you must not go without picking something that will help you grow. the power of lifelong learning. In a world that is constantly evolving, learning is our compass. It guides us, keeps us relevant, and equips us to handle the challenges we have. The need to learn is not limited to a classroom. It extends to every part of our lives. There are many ways to learn. Many ways to learn. Formal learning through courses and certifications. Informal learning through self-study, reading, or attending workshops. Experiential learning by gaining knowledge from practical experiences. Statistics show that continuous learning learners are 50% more likely to adapt to change and achieve their personal goals. This is because learning nurtures curiosity, enhances creativity, and fosters a spirit of resilience. Learning for business development. Now, let's talk about how learning especially impacts on our businesses. To excel as entrepreneurs, business leaders, or professionals, we must continually update our knowledge. We need to stay informed about industry trends, embrace technology and digital tools, and develop strong leadership and management skills. When we commit to continuous learning, we unlock many benefits. It fosters innovation, allowing us to create new products or services and solve problems creatively. It improves our decision-making skills by providing us with up-to-date information and diverse perspectives. It builds resilience, enables us to pilot and adapt when faced with challenges or changes in the business environment. Look at what is happening to Nigeria today. You need to think fast to exist, because some of us are almost not existing. But God will remain our God. Learn for personal growth. Learning is not just for our careers. It's also a powerful tool for personal development. Learning helps us to grow as individuals by enhancing our self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and critical skills like communication time management and stress management. To balance our business, family, and personal growth effectively, we must be intentional about setting priorities. Now, if you don't set priorities, you're in trouble. You know where to go and when. Look at your fuel gauge. This might include mentors, professional networks, as we hope today we'll be able to do some networking, or supportive family members. Learning enriches our personal lives, making us more resilient, adaptable, and capable of managing the many roles we play. With apologies to men, women play many roles more than thousands. They do not understand. You are a worker, your husband is a worker. You return and he goes home to lie down and say, food please. You run to the kitchen to make the food. I say, meanwhile, can I have a bottle of beer and some dry fish while the food is getting ready? You are hungry, you cook first and you pass it on the table and make sure he eats well. And you enjoy him eating with relish. And thank him for enjoying your meal. You get that satisfaction, true or false? That is who we are. And that includes our children who will come in. I was returning from Lagos and our flight was cancelled. I was looking for how to take another flight. A lady was carrying 4 boys. The youngest was about 5 years. She bought some chivita drinks for them. Doesn't perceive the lady apart like this. She gave them biscuits. Less than 10 minutes, they said, Mommy, we are hungry. At the airport, she was looking to see which other flights she can pay to go. The father must be in a conference like this or at home. And he said it's not working. But he was working somewhere. And she too would be thinking of her own job and the children. We give God all the glory for making us very strong and resilient. Overcoming barriers to learning. I know that many of us face obstacles to continuous learning. Time constraints, financial limitations, and fear of failure or change can all hold us back. But I want to encourage you to see these challenges not as barriers, but as opportunity to grow. Here are some strategies to overcome them. Micro-learning. Break your learning into small, manageable sessions. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. Utilize free or low-cost resources. Take advantage of online courses, podcasts, webinars, and other accessible resources. You are young, you know all I am saying, and you know it's doable. Cultivate growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn instead of fearing failure. Don't be afraid. You won't fail. If you fall and get up, dust out the garbage or rust on the dust on the step and move on. And you'll get there. Embracing a learning mindset. To make learning a habit, you must cultivate a learning mindset characterized by curiosity, openness, and resilience. You know, when God created Adam from the dust. When he created women from Adam's rib, not the dust. And if you bend the rib, it's very resilient. You have no reason not to be resilient, girls. Be open to new ideas and experience. And most importantly, be resilient. Persist through setbacks and view challenges as opportunity to grow. Here are some practical tips to help you embrace learning in your daily life. Schedule regular time for learning. Make it a priority, just like any other important task. Set clear and achievable learning goals. Focus on what you want to achieve and why it matters to you. Reflect on what you've learned and find ways to apply it in your life. Say that practice makes perfect. Real life examples. Let me have some inspirational examples of some who have embraced learning to achieve a remarkable success. Some of you know her. She's my daughter, Shamlady, the mentor. I'm intentionally using her. I don't want to use somebody else before that person sees me to court. So I use the person who cannot see me to court. Otherwise, I have other girls I will use their examples. Who many of you might know because she is a daughter of the Niger Delta. He studied English language and literature at the University of Benin. But that was not because she initially went into. She went into read law, but somehow ended up graduating in English literature, language and literature. Well, the girl had always wanted to be a journalist. And so, well fortuitously, she was sent to Lagos for her National Youth Service Corps. She opted intentionally to serve at the Daily Times of Nigeria. You must make effort and look for your goal, look for your interest. The parents will advise you. Yes, parents will advise you. But you know yourself what you can do best. Find a way.
NBC Limited, which he held until he retired in September 2023. I think that's big one. Yeah. So he has made significant contributions in that sector, and I think really as a son of the soil, we're so proud of him for that. Yes. Let me see. So in recognition of his service to Nigeria, holding roles like chairman of the board of the Gas Aggregate Company of Nigeria, NNPC New Energy Limited, Port Harcourt Refining Company, Nigerian Petroleum Exchange Steering Committee, as well as other subsidiary boards such as Niger Limited, responsible for shipping clean petroleum products into Nigeria and West Africa. He's been given numerous awards, honors, and even chieftaincy titles. So notably, he holds the award of Officer of the Order of the Niger, as a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. He's a respected community leader in Bile Kingdom, where he holds the prestigious title of Amabelemabo, if I got that right, of Bile Kingdom, conferred by the Amainamo and the Council of Chiefs. And he's also a Knight of the Garrick Grade of Christ Army Church in Bile. You're most welcome, sir. We're really glad to have you. Round of applause, please. Okay, so I'll also invite our second speaker, very eminent, in fact, we were confused this morning when we saw her. We're like, wow. Our second speaker is Dr. Elizabeth Kingswali. Please, a round of applause for her. FCID, DFCIS, and CIFCN. Please, you're going to tell us what all of these letters mean. She's the CEO of Blackstone Capital Limited, an agile, unconventional financial service provider, a passionate finance professional with over 2 decades of experience. Over 2 decades of experience in major business areas in retail and SME, commercial banking and public sector banking, growing investment portfolios, and supporting businesses with quality risks and advisory services. She rose to the position of Group Head, Retail and SME in Abuja and North Central in a Tier 2 commercial bank. So her qualifications span an MBA, okay, so I can't pronounce this, from a university in Wales, in human resources, an honorary doctorate degree in business management and corporate leadership from the European American University. She's also an alumnus of the London Business School, where she attended the Essentials of Leadership program, and Lagos Business School, where she also attended the Owners and Managers program. She has numerous others. I think we'd be here all morning if we were listing out all of them, but they're fantastic number of honors from the Fellow of National Institute of Marketing, member of Chartered Institute of Finance and Control. I think what we're trying to say is that we have an eminent and fantastic panel here. So please give them a round of applause while we go straight into it. So with that, I think I would invite our first speaker, yes, to speak the male perspective on our topic of today. So wow. Thank you. So balancing our ambitions with our personal responsibilities, we want to hear it from a male perspective, which we normally don't. Please sit back, listen, and let's engage. Thank you so much. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I've just said good morning, everyone, and go ahead. But it would be unfair for me not to recognize my moms. Mommy, my sister Stella's mom, happy birthday. It's not easy to clock 80. So we'll look forward to clocking 80. Mommy, we are glad to have you here. And of course, I'm also another great mom. Hearing what you said about you and your parents immediately reminded me of my mom. I'm sorry I'm going to talk about my mom, but I have only 8 minutes. Mommy, I recognize you. Of course, Mrs. I wish you can, I don't know what to say about you. Each time I see you on TV, I always say I wish you were a reverse mom. You are doing a great job, not just for the women, but you are inspiration to young folks and elderly people, of course. Thank you for being here with us. Of course, my other ladies of the panel, the Kilali tribe, the pride of the Niger Delta. My co-speaker, the secondary school is my co-debater, and of course the powerful. Having said that, I have just 8 minutes. For me, it's a great privilege to be here before you to discuss a topic that is easily becoming very important in today's world: work-life integration. As she already told you, I was a former executive vice president of upstream in oil and gas sector. I have navigated the complexities of a demanding career while striving to maintain a fulfilling personal life. Today, I truly want to share with you some personal challenges, strategies, and thoughts on how the role of men in balancing career and family responsibilities evolve. I will begin by asking, what is work-life balance? For me, there are 3 phases of work-life balance that I went through in my over 30 years of my career. First, a single man with so much influence from my mom. Second, a married man with influence and focus on my wife. Thirdly, a father with focus on my son and my wife. Before I continue, I'll give you a little story of how my work-life balance began with my mom. We all know in university, for reading engineering, you do a 1-year industrial training. So I was posted to Nigerian Harcourt because I have a little time. And while doing the IT, after 2 weeks, I was going from home because you must stay in university. After 2 weeks, my mom asked me, every day you go to work and you come back, and you get home before 4 o'clock. What do you really do in the office? But first, why did they even send you there? I I said, well, it's an industrial training for us to have a practical experience on the profession we are reading. She said, okay, so what do you now do in the office? Because you have not graduated. I said, right now, when we go, we actually sit in the office, it's a comfortable place. So she said, is that what you do every day? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, okay, when you go back the next day, whoever is supervising you, ask him, how will you go back to school and write a report that you have really learned something? And my supervisor was a white man, but I still remember him. So when I went the next day, I said, I'm here on industrial training. He said, yes. But every day I call me, I have a very sensitive savings. I said, okay, so what do you want to do? I said, okay, our fields are in Ebocha and Tinigaba. So I came back and told my mom, I said, if I have any practical experience, I have to be posted outside this place. As a young man, I was comfortable with what I was doing. She said, okay, tell them to send you. I said, mommy, Ebocha is no more. I don't have. She said, are there people that go there? I came back to Niger and told the white man, he was shocked. He sent me to Ebocha. I was when I got my first experience of work. What am I saying? It taught me work-life balance. Having said that, that is the first thing. So all these stages come with their different experiences and challenges. I'm talking about being a single man, a married man, and a father. Let me acknowledge that work-life integration has never been an easy journey. The oil industry is known for its high-pressure environment, with long hours, and the constant demand for results. Early in my career was driven to climb to the corporate ladder, which meant taking on multiple responsibilities that will also spill over my personal life. I'll talk about my life for my name. This relentless pursuit of career goals had an impact, as work responsibilities spilled into my private life. I began to observe a growing disconnect at home. It became clear
you need
that
to,
true
when
success
someone is speaking, you need to focus on
required
there. You
more
have
than just
hands
professional
wide, but you were showing
achievements.
the back of chairs.
It needed the balance that nurtured both my career and my family life. In my later years of my career, I've seen a very significant shift in how men approach work life integration. The traditional view of men as sole breadwinners, detached from household responsibilities, is evolving. These days, more men are beginning to recognize the importance of being present, not just financially, but emotionally and physically in their family lives. This shift is partly driven by a new understanding of success. It is no longer just about climbing the corporate ladder. Success now is becoming inclusive of having meaningful relationships with our children, being supportive to our partners, and contributing to the household beyond financial provisions. One of the most significant changes I have observed in the rise of shared responsibility at home. I've seen colleagues who have taken pride in being hands-on fathers, like assisting with the home work. Back here, because of culture, we believe that you cannot wash plates if you are a man. But abroad, it's like a normal thing. But these days, men no longer care. As long as there is love between you and your wife, when she's working, you can do the home chores. And this change is not just about fairness. It is about building stronger family ties and, by extension, more resilient communities. So, how do we achieve this balance? Let me share a few strategies that have worked for me and I'm present with you also. First, prioritize what matters most. It is easy to get caught up with the day-to-day demands of work. But take a step back and ask yourself, what truly matters? For me, I took it that it was my family that truly matters. So once I identified this, I started setting boundaries. No work calls during dinner with family. No checking of emails during family time. These small changes made a significant difference in my family. Initially, I was really absent, but when I started doing this, my wife would look at me and say, "What is happening today? No phone calls. You're not touching your computer." I said, "Don't mind. I want to find time with you." Secondly, be present. It is not enough just to be at home. You need to be mentally and emotionally present. When you are with your family, focus on them. Put away phone, turn off your laptop, and engage with them. Your real presence is the most valuable gift you can give. And I can tell you a practical experience. The day I sat with my son and started talking with him, he said, "Daddy, his schoolmates are asking him, where does your father work? Are you sure your father and your mother are still married? Because I never went to his school." So the day I went there, he made sure every of his classmates, "This is my daddy, this is my daddy, this is my daddy." And he came back home happy. So you have to be present. Communicate with your partner. Achieving work-life integration is not something you can do alone. It requires open and honest communication with your partner. Discuss your challenges, your goals, and how you can support each other. It is about teamwork. Set realistic expectations. Understand that you cannot do it every time. It can never be perfect. There will be days when work takes precedence, but as long as your partner understands, she will support you. Other days, family will take precedence. The key is to find a balance over time, not every day of your life. The other one is self-care. There I was really guilty. Do not forget to take care of yourself. Exercise. Find hobbies and a time to reflect on what you really want to do. These are not luxuries. I have bosses who told me as early as 6 a.m. they will go and play golf before they come to the office. For me, 6 a.m. I'm in the office. Over time, I found out why they were doing that, and it was very helpful. The key is to find a balance over time. Therefore, a well-balanced individual is better equipped to handle the demands of both work and life. The role of men in achieving work-life integration is very critical. By embracing this evolving role, we contribute not only to our own well-being, but to the well-being of our families and our workplaces. It is not just a personal journey for me, it is a societal shift. We need to continue to pursue what is good, not just for us, but also consider the environment we belong to, both at work and at home, that supports these values. It is not just about reducing work hours or delegating house chores. It is about focusing a culture that values the full spectrum of life. As we look to the future, let us commit to supporting one another in this journey. Let us challenge the outdated norms that create new definitions of success that include thriving in both our careers and our personal lives. Kilali Tribe, I want to describe you with these words. Please go with me. K stands for knowledgeable, I stands for intelligent, L stands for loving, the other A stands for articulate, L for lively, and then the final I, you are innovative women dedicated to empowering and advancing the field of agenda. You have created a legacy because there is one thing my mother taught me. What will you be remembered for? We sing this song whenever we go for funerals, and it brings tears to my eyes. People will not remember you for how much you have. It is how much life. If you go to burials and people are crying, they're not crying, "Oh, this is a rich man." They say, "Oh, this man used to be good. He used to give me money. He used to ask me how I am." So the legacy you are creating today is the lives you are touching, particularly these young women that you are bringing. The thing to mommy is really honored to be here today. And like my mama said, I'm blessed to be the man amongst women. I sincerely thank you. And as we go on, we'll share my personal experience in the panel session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know about you all, but I have questions. Thank you so very much. But I'll save it for the final conversation. Right, so without further ado, I'll just call our second speaker to speak to us from a woman's perspective. So,
thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to stand before this group of amazing women today. My name, as Pierre introduced, is Ambassador Dr. Kilali. Ambassador because I was recently inducted into African Union Agenda 2063 as an ambassador. I like to mention that for those that are doubting or those that are contemplating, I'm over 40 young, so with women are doing great things. I'll start by commending the beautiful and amazing women of the Kilali tribe, some of whom I have personal relationship with. You're doing a very fantastic job. If every region can replicate this, Nigeria will be a better place. Because they say if you train a woman, you have trained a nation. The impact of this will go a lifetime, and I can assure you that everyone seated in this conference will go home with a take-home from today. It will be a life-changing strategy for them on their work-life balance. So thank you guys for the good work you're doing, and you're highly appreciated. I'm here to speak about a topic deeply important and that resonates with me and we all women. How we as women can embrace learning as a key to sustain growth, not just in our careers, but in every aspect of our lives. Today I'll share with you how I navigated my career, my personal life, and all the challenges that came with it. Because if there's one thing I've learned is that success is not only about climbing the corporate ladder, but also about growing as an individual, a mother, a wife, a doctor, and a leader. And most importantly, continuous learning at every stage of life. We all know that success, especially for women, doesn't come without its challenges. I run a multi-million naira business today. Blackstone Capital is a group. It comprises of a financial service institution, an insurance broker, and a mining company. However, getting here wasn't easy. In the early days of my career as a banker, I was one of the very few women in the room expected to perform twice as hard as a man and then earn half the respect of my male counterparts. But instead of seeing that as a challenge or disadvantage, I turned it into an opportunity. I realized that knowledge, being well-read, and well-prepared, and continuous learning was my greatest asset. Whether it was mastering financial models or learning the latest trend in the finance industry, I never allowed myself to be stagnant. I saw every challenge as an opportunity to grow. It wasn't just about getting technical knowledge. I had to develop leadership skills. And I'm sure when you heard my bio, they said I went to London's business school to learn leadership skills. Continuous learning helped me to navigate this male-dominated space with confidence. And I would ask every one of you here to embrace that mindset and seek knowledge in all forms and understanding that growth is an ongoing journey. Alex Trebek once said that learning something new is fun. So why don't we keep learning? We'll be having fun at the same time. Interestingly, I am still learning. Today, in a few weeks from now, I will be a chartered insurance broker. Thank you. Why is that? It's okay for a leader to employ professionals to run their business, but it's better for the leader to also have an idea of what the business is. The reason I decided to embark on that journey. Some other leaders will say, I can pay for professional. Why bother myself? I'm a mother. I'm very busy. But for me, because I know the true importance of learning, I I decided to embark on that journey. Because learning is also a tool that we can use to break every barrier, no matter how high it seems. Now, let's talk about the hardest balance we face between work and home and as women. I know many of you here are like me. You're a daughter, a mother, a sister, and a leader in our profession. I have 4 beautiful children, all toddlers, under the age of 5. Because I'm a late bloomer. When they were young, I was faced with serious medical complications. And for a time, I wasn't sure how I would manage it all. But here I am today. I'm still growing. Like I said, Blackstone Capital is still growing as well. I have learned to set boundaries, not just at work, but also at home. During those years, I leaned heavily on my faith and the love of family and very close friends around. But I also learned the importance of saying no to certain demands at work and prioritizing my health and family. You see, as women, we are often taught to give endlessly, but we must learn to preserve ourselves as well. I began scheduling non-negotiable personal time to focus on my health, time to focus on my family, and time for myself as well. At work, I built a team I could trust and began delegating responsibilities. These boundaries saved me from burnout and allowed me to be fully present in every stage of my life or every area of my life. Setting boundaries isn't a sign of weakness, rather it's a sign of strength and wisdom. Sustaining success both professionally and personally requires more than just hard work. It requires investing in yourself. After overcoming my medical challenges, I realized that crucial self-care was very important. But self-care wasn't just about physical health. It also involved mental health care and emotional health care. I began to understand that continuous learning extends beyond the professional realm. It means learning about oneself, understanding what energizes you, what drains you, and how to protect your peace. Self-care is an act of self-preservation, and without it, you cannot be the best of a leader, a mother, or a wife, or whatever you aspire to be. For me, self-care also meant surrounding myself with a support system, whether through my faith, my family, or my mentors. It was through learning to lean on others that I truly grew. The more I invested in my well-being, the more I found myself striving and not just surviving. Today, it is easy to survive in this economic situation we're in, just like our mommy said earlier. But it is a lot better to strive than just to survive. Self-care for me is a personal growth. It's not love. Self-care and personal growth are not luxuries, but are a necessity for sustained success. In closing, I would like to leave you with this. Learning is not just about expanding your career. It's about growing into the best version of yourself. Whether you're breaking through barriers in your career, setting boundaries at home, or practicing self-care, continuous learning is the key to navigating all of this. We are not just professionals. We are multifaceted individuals, mothers, wives, daughters, and leaders. And through faith, love, and continuous growth, we can strive in every area of this. I'll thank you at this time for allowing me to share my story with you. I hope that my story has inspired you to embrace learning, set boundaries, and take care of yourself as you grow both personally and professionally. We are all capable of greatness, and the only limit is our willingness to grow. As women, we have the power to create, to inspire, and to empower. Let's embrace learning as a way of life and lift each other along the way, just like Kilali tribe is doing today. Let's make it a priority, a habit, and a passion, and then surround ourselves with people, support systems that will support us all through the stages of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And she did it in 8 minutes on the dot. Please give her another round of applause. Right. So now I'm going to sit down because it's time to gist. Yeah, so can we invite you into our small gisting session? Let's have a conversation. And I'm hoping you're putting together your questions, because in a little while we'll open up for questions from the audience as well. So should we enter gist? Should we talk? Okay. So I have a couple of questions for each of you. Thank you so much for sharing from your individual experiences. I'm not sure if this is working, but I guess we can share this. Okay, we can share. Okay. Right. So just a couple of questions from what you said, and indeed some of the things that were prepared. You know, we've talked about unlocking potential as the theme. Yeah. It's not working. Russia. No, thank you. Don't worry, we'll be fine. No. Okay. So the first question, I don't know if I should do ladies first. This one. Okay. So I want to speak to Dr. Elizabeth. So fantastic story, how you manage with 4 toddlers under the age of 5. I think you need to do a master class on that. We don't have time to take that today. But I wanted to ask a question around learning. And you spoke a bit about learning, not just in the professional space, but in your personal space as well. What do you think the impact of learning is, really, in terms of being able to implement in a work-life integration, being able to identify the things that need to be balanced and put together in your life as a whole, because each part of your life is as important as the other. So what has been the role of learning for you in doing that? Because you spoke quite a bit about learning. Yeah.
Thank you. For me, like I said, learning is the key to continuous growth. Learning exposes you to what you would usually normally would not have done. Learning elevates you. Personally, in my workplace, when I work in my 9 to 5, as we learn, it puts you on the pedestal for promotion. So it takes you to the next level. So learning is just the key. In success, if you don't learn, I'm doubt if you'll get to that peak, the success you desire. So learning is very important.
Okay, so maybe a bit of a follow-on question on that. You talked about learning about yourself. Yes, so how does that also play into that? Because that's the potential conversation, understanding yourself a bit more intricately. How does that also impact? Or does that help, or does that hinder? Does it have any impact the more you learn about your own self?
It helps, absolutely. Learning about yourself helps greatly, because when you learn about yourself, you look inward. It exposes your strengths and your weaknesses, and then you're able to develop on your strengths and then work also on your weaknesses. So learning about yourself will expose you and help you to be the better version of yourself. So the truth is, in everything, like I said, you want to be the better version of yourself.
Thank you very much. So I'll come to you now, sir. You spoke a lot about guidance that you had. I think we'll come to that later. But what I want to ask now is, you spoke about making a change. You know, you started out your career having one kind of understanding about the role, you know, the role of the man in the marriage and the woman, all of that, and then you changed it along the line. So can you tell us what informed that change? What inspired that change? Yeah.
Well, like I said, as a young man, the first ambition is to be financially stable when you get a job. So you want to grow the system, you want to attain achievements, and in so doing, you sometimes forget that there should be a balance. That's why I said I went through 3 phases. The first phase was when I was a single man. I want to get to pick up my career and see how I can make my mom happy. So the second phase was when I got married. Yes, after marriage, you now feel that you have a home, that you still want to grow in your career, make money, and take care of your wife and your family. So the major thing was because I was more focused on career growth, I forgot that I had a family to take care of. And that's why I said the family was suffering. And mine was a bit personal. Because when you marry, you become a different person. In the sense that you begin to think, how do we have babies? That becomes another challenge. For some, you're lucky to have it on time. For some of us are going through a process. It took me about 30 years to have my one and only son. So you can imagine me managing my work and also managing the home. So when I saw the reaction of my wife, at the point it was like, are we working just to make money? Or we are working to make the home happy? That was a deep sentence. And that's why I changed my philosophy to say, yes, I want to grow in my career, but I have to create a balance between my career and also making my family happy.
So I'll come to you with one more question, and I'm hoping that the audience, are we getting our questions ready? A few minutes? Okay. So I also want to ask this second question. So as a male leader, what advice would you give to other men who are perhaps struggling to find a balance between their professional ambitions and personal responsibilities? We know there are not a lot of men here, so we want to give our women message that they can take up.
Yes, like I said, I still want to go for the single men. Yet you want to grow in your career. The communication is very important. As a single man, as you're growing, ask yourself, if I make all the money and my home is not happy, what happens? For the married men, you can have all the money, go on all the holidays. If the home is not stable, then you have a problem. So what is important is communication with your partner. A lot of us take it for granted that women understand. But like I've always said, it is easy for the woman to love you when you understand her, and no woman will want your career to come down if you explain to her what you're doing. Starting my career, I think I want to also advise, it was like a taboo when they tell you have a joint account with your wife. But the day I made up my mind and my wife knows how much I had, she was the one telling me, this is what we have, please be careful. So it became easier. At times, she would even be the one to tell me, how are you managing? I hope you are not collecting money from people, because this shirt you just bought, from the account we have in our bank, I don't think it will bring this. What am I saying? Be open. The fear of the unknown sometimes breaks the home. If you take a woman as a wife, why are you afraid for her to know what your balance is in the car? It sounds tough, my friends will not like it. But I have told you, I love the music that says, Alan Davis said, as you grow old, you have few friends. I'm beginning to understand that the more you're open to your partner, the easier life is for you. She will defend you, even when people say, we saw you so much, she said, my husband told me, I know that it's there. Because you are open to her. So the basic thing is communication. Communication. Communicate with your partner as much as possible. Let her know what is going on with you in the office. Because what brings trouble in the family is the inability for your partner to know where you are, what you're doing, and what job you're doing. A lot of us don't even tell our wives what to do at work. But I came to realize that, and the moment I started doing it, I started having peace.
So Dr. Elizabeth, let me come back to you. Thank you, sir. So the question is around navigating life and life is success. Because we believe that you have a significant level of success in your chosen field. So navigating that as a successful woman. So as a successful woman in your field, what has been the most significant challenge you face in trying to balance your own personal ambitions and desires with your personal responsibilities and even your career. And how did you overcome that? So some feedback in our audience can learn.
Okay. The most significant challenges faced is actually external expectation. Because as women and mothers, we are expected to face the home front more, focus on the home front than pursuing your professional ambition. But along the line, for me personally, I realized early that external satisfaction will not solve the issue, will not balance it for you, but it works for you and your family. Like Sadu here said, communication. I communicated with my family, and I had good support system, and I delegate. So for me, it was a matter of delegation. After communicating, they know my ambition, they know my aspiration professionally, and I had to talk to the family, and they understood, and then they support me, and then I set boundaries to ensure I achieve all my goals. When I'm at work 100%. When I'm at home 100%. I don't allow, and then for my self-care, I take my time for self-care as well, so I don't get burnout. So for everything, there's boundary, and it has really and greatly helped me to achieve and be where I am today.
Thank you very much. Right, so I have more questions, but I think we fail to open up to the audience at this point. So do we have any? And if you don't have questions ready, because I'm ready to. We'd love to hear from the audience. We can take 2 questions. The gentleman.
Please, I have some very quick questions to put up this more. The first one is that in the home, people go through challenges sometimes. Sometimes that they tell how to go about addressing those challenges. It affects their career or their businesses, and as well affects their home. And they cannot seem to pinpoint what is the problem. How do you go about locating the challenge and how able to know how to solve it? Because one thing to know the problem and another thing to know how to solve it. That's one. Okay.
So I think maybe it's a bit more clarification on the question. Yeah.
The question is, how do you pinpoint a problem in your relationship that is affecting your business? So maybe you're not integrating properly, I don't know, but how have you experienced pinpointing the problem happening in your personal life and affecting your business?
Okay, I would say that you have to find the problem first. You have to know if you're happy.
He wants to know how do you find the problem.
Okay.
Communication. You communicate with your partner, I've said it. You must be open to each other. If there's no truth, you can't find the problem. So your partner must tell you what the problem is, and you also have to be truthful. Because a lot of times what brings conflict is lies. The moment your partner does not understand what you do, there will be conflict. So you should be open enough. Sometimes you have work challenge because of pride, you don't want your wife to know. Probably you failed an interview in the office to get promotion, you don't want your wife to know. And when you say they are promoting your friend, they are not promoting you. Why? We go to tell her we took an exam and I failed. The wife will sympathize with you and ask you what happened. But if you don't communicate, similarly, a wife has a problem and you ignore her. Probably you come around, she tells you, oh, I'm tired, I'm just coming back, I cannot do anything. Communicate. The moment you're able to communicate, you'll find the problem. Then both of you will solve it together. There is nothing like one situation fits all. Every problem has a peculiarity. So you can only find the solution based on. And if you don't know the problem, you cannot solve it. So communicate with each other and then find a way that suits both of you first. That's husband and wife. If the children are involved, you involve everybody. I think a lot of times I've come to realize that in our days when mommy and daddy are talking, I didn't have daddy early. So when mommy is talking, the child has nothing to say. In these days, the children will challenge you. My 14-year-old boy will look at me, Daddy, couldn't you have said it better? When I tell him, why are you doing this? He said, Daddy, you could have said it softly now. Why are you shouting? In the past, before you finish the sentence, you are getting a slap. So next time, you won't even open up. So I think what is important in all situations is communication and your manner of approach.
Thank you. One more question here.
Well, thank you very much, sir. It's good to be here. I'm excited because I registered the first, the second, I didn't attend, but I'm here. All right, my question is, while you were talking, we were having a chat here, you sounded like, oh, when you come up home, you give family their time. So my question is, you know, with work-life balance, it's like you have a scale where you're putting everything and then you're striking a balance, ensuring that the balance is there on the scale. But with work-life integration, it's a bit fluid. So it's like you can't really pick. You just have them all blending up. So where does flexibility come in? Because it's difficult to go home and say it's family time for some people. My husband works, he's a pastor, so we come home. After work, we do church. So it's a bit difficult. So, but it's as though we've come to take him the way he is. But that's not good. So I want to see where flexibility plays a role in work-life integration.
Great question.
You want me to answer the lady?
Great question.
Well, because I have 10 minutes, flexibility is one of the things. I realized, I used myself. I said initially, my interest was, and I used the word, I neglected the family. So for me, there was a turning point. What was the easiest way for me to gain my family? And that's why I gave you the same.
So the flexibility is a given. But what is important, I still emphasize, communication. You are building the work. She specifically told me, when you come home, please just go to the library and stay. I will not bother you. Even when visitors come, she will manage them and make sure I had my quiet time because there was communication and understanding. So everything boils down to communication, call it flexibility, and openness to one another. It works magic. Take it or leave it. If there's no communication in the family, it doesn't matter how much you have, it doesn't matter how good you are, it will never work. If there was no communication between your husband and you will not even believe that he's going to church. Something in you must have made you believe that yes, when you leave so. Because sometimes there's so much breakdown of communication between husband and wife that even when you tell her you're going to work and you don't come back, she will think that after work you are going to join your friends or somewhere with someone in a hotel. But when there's communication, even if you are saying in the hotel, your wife will defend you. I know he's there for a meeting. He's not there for something else. It is communication. So I don't think that addresses your concern. Flexibility, yes, but communication. But it's not perfect. There are a lot of challenges. Don't think that it went that easy. It wasn't just a switch, turn off and on. It takes time. There has to be understanding. We must understand each other's concerns. Like I've said, because of time, we're not going to talk. I have a bigger challenge. At a point, I was here, my wife was abroad. So you can imagine that kind of communication. Time difference, we'll have to sacrifice. When it's 6 p.m. here, it's about 2 a.m. US time. When it's 12 midnight here, it's 6 a.m. here. How do we communicate? How do we discuss? The impact of not sleeping on my job, and I have a target to move. But there has to be communication. And at the end, what she told me was, if this will affect us, what do you want me to do? Should I come back? I said, if that will okay. And she packed her things and came back to Nigeria. Communication. To keep her marriage. So someone has sacrificed. Thank you.
You know this is not going to be easy.
I just want to add that it shouldn't be a rigid routine. You need to find what works for you and your family. For me, my lunch time at work is my bonding time with my children and my family. I do school runs. So I make sure, and I live close to the home. I live close to the office and the school. I make sure everything's within the same vicinity. I go to the school, do school runs, and I use that 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes as a bonding time to make up for when I get home late with the children. And then when my husband, he's mostly not out of station. When he's in town, we don't even need to talk about it. He does the school runs, and I know that I have the field. That's why I say it should not be a rigid routine. So you should just find what works for you and then run with it.
Thank you so much. This isn't a question, so I don't want to extend the time. Sir, Adult T, we would like to call upon you to host the first Kilali Tribe male conference for men between over the age of 20, because it's wonderful that the ladies are hearing this and the few men who are here, but for it to make an impact, just as we are addressing our women and trying to take them to the next level with us, men have to do the same amongst themselves for it all to work together. You said communication together. She can't hear it alone. He has to hear it too. So when we call on you, do not block my number.
Thank you very much. I think we're run out of time. I'm sure we could have continued this really, but we've come to the end of this session. I'd like to just really thank you both of our speakers, for sharing your personal stories, tips, and strategies, and I think we've learned so much from them. I'm going to go behind and hear some more and learn some more. So I think in summary, really, achievement of a full and integrated life is an intentional one, doesn't happen by chance. I think that's what we've taken from this conversation. And we each owe it to ourselves, our individual selves, to find out and fulfill our fullest potential. A way that all sides of our psyches fully express and are integrated in a way that there's progress, there's growth, there's achievement, and more importantly, there's happiness. And I think at the end, if we're able to do that, we can beat our chest and say, indeed, we have lived a good life. So thank you very much to our panelists, and we appreciate you for your time and for your fantastic input. Please can we have a round of applause for the panel? Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, a round of applause to the panelists on the work-life integration, balancing career ambitions with personal responsibilities. Thank you very much. So it's now time for us to honor them. So I want to put somebody on the spot. Can I just announce that we're going to have the Kilali Tribe Conference for Men? And when I listened to what she said, I thought, women cannot be listening to this alone. So thank you for putting him on the spot. So we'll hold you accountable. The next person we're going to hold accountable is We'd like to welcome Toye Cole in our midst. He supported us at our very first Kilali Tribe Conference. Uninvited, he showed up and spent the rest of the day with us. So he's man in here too. And they're both wearing the same color. Just imagine, they planned it so they will do the conference. And with him is his lovely wife, Mrs. Cole. Please let's acknowledge her. Thank you very much for coming. Welcome. So let's all eyes be on the stage as we honor our guest. Thank you very much. Over.
So on behalf of the Kilali Tribe, I'd like to thank you for gracing us with your presence, for time spent with us, and the insightful conversation we had. So this is from us to you.
From me and everyone in the Kilali Tribe, we'd like to say thank you to Dr. You know, as I was listening to you, I was saying to myself, it was actually a press conference with my husband. I was thinking, I hope we are quiet and they discuss this together. Because I really want to go into life and ensure that we can make sure that they're doing this as well, honestly. Thank you for that. I thought it was very inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and one gentleman on the stage. Thank you very much. A round of applause again to them as they take their leave. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again. That was a wonderful conversation on integration, balancing career ambitions with personal responsibility. Very apt conversation we had, particularly from Engineer Adokiye, who talked about his life journey, 3 phases, and how he had to understand what his influences were and how to make adjustments. I think men need to understand that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let all eyes be on stage, please, if you can. Taking us through the journey of his 3 decades, being a single man, and how he had to balance his personal life with work and his mother, and also becoming a married man. It's a whole different ball game. Your responsibilities are different. How do you balance that relationship with your man or your wife? And then becoming a father. It's important that men see this transition and know that you wear different shoes, different hats as you grow up. You're not a boy forever. So he has told us you need to have this balances all through. And something has to suffer if you make the wrong choice. And his family suffered. Thank you very much that at least 13 years after learning that, we have to make the adjustment. Dr. Elizabeth Kingswali, very important conversation you had. Thank you. It's important and it's possible to be a superwoman as a mother. You can be a superwoman. Something has to give, but making that right balance and ensuring what gives is important. We talked about learning and leaning on others. It's so important. How are the people in your network? How do you leverage that relationship to grow? Growth is also very important, and she told us that in expanding and being a better person, learning was very instrumental to that. So please, let's take that away today. Again, a round of applause to our panelists. Now the next session, sponsored by Lafarge and NDDC. A round of applause to them. Thank you to our great sponsors. We really appreciate you. Is the career enhancement giveaway. It is important that we pour ourselves into you, and this is one of the things that we would like to do here. So I'd like to welcome on stage Dr. Sophia Hospital, who will explain how this will happen. And she is a corporate relations professional whose driving principle in life is excellence, compassion, and encouraging others to reach their maximum potential. She holds a Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery degree from the College of the Imperial College of the University of Lagos, and an MBA from Imperial College London, Diploma in Strategy and Innovation, and an MSc in Major Program Management, both from the University of Oxford. After a stint at the military hospital, Yaba, Sophia has gone on to enjoy a 30-year career in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, where she has held strategic roles in medicine, finance, human resources, and corporate relations. She has led several key corporate projects, initiative and crisis management programs, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria, NCA, associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, ANCIPM, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, AMNIPR, and Institute of Directors of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage Dr. Sophia Harcourt. My honor to have you as your friend and a sister.
And good morning. Good morning, everyone. Permit me to stand on already established protocols. It's a pleasure and a privilege to see you all here on the high table. So the business before me is to just really give you 5 minutes, if not less, round down on what the Kilali giveaway is. But before that, I'd like to acknowledge a very distinguished woman. She is the wife of Pastor Architect Tony Cole. She's a classmate, a politician, and an anesthesiologist, a consultant. She is at the forefront of managing our Medilag Set 1992 set, none other than Dr. Sylvia Cole. Thank you for being with us this morning. So they called it a giveaway, but I much prefer to call it a passion meeting opportunity initiative. And what that means is that we have a special empowerment package. It's threefold, and this is where you as this year's participants get to benefit from each of these initiatives, if indeed you are interested. So what we do is we select any of the women here, and maybe even indeed men, to take part in 3 or 4 things. One, a leadership development program. Another, a personality analysis program. So when you really know who you are, what your strengths are, then you can identify the areas for growth and leverage it for personal development and indeed business success. And then of course there's the other where you can actually do a training. So I'll go into specifics now. So first, we have on offer, sponsored by none other than Lafarge company itself, a 3-day executive masterclass at Lagos Business School. All expenses paid, and all expenses means flight tickets, accommodation, honorarium, and the training itself fully paid for. The package is nothing less than 2 million ahead. And it is on offer for any one of you today, and I'll explain exactly how. The course itself, there are 2 of them. One will take place this year, October 8th, for 3 days. It's called How You Manage People for Strategic Advantage. The other will be next year, May 21st, also for 3 days, where it's titled Manager as Coach. We all know that the Lagos Business School is a premier institution, and you'll get really pedigree training. But there are requirements. It's an opportunity for anybody who's had middle-level management experience, and the criteria include such things as, well, there's a preference really for those of you who have a master's degree, for those of you who have mid-management experience in leading a team, so that the course itself is relevant, and then also evidence of your commitment to personal development. We heard our doctor this morning talk about how she's constantly learning. Very impressive profile, I must say, madam. Congratulations also on your getting your chartered status with insurance. So where we have this, where you can show this evidence that you've been learning, you've been trying to do things to develop yourself, it'll add to your points in being eligible for this initiative. And then, of course, proof of some social media presence, whether it's Instagram or indeed LinkedIn. The other 2 opportunities are some training, and these are virtual. We know that sometimes traveling is a bit of a constraint for people. 2 leading training providers, Matei and Star Life Center, and they will give some digital marketing related training. It can be virtual, so you can indeed manage it in the way that we've been talking about this morning, work-life balance group integration. For that one, the requirements are probably a little more modest, at least evidence of having had at a minimum HND, OND. We have also a registered business, preferably with CAC. And then, again, commitment to personal development. And of course, proof that you have some social media presence. Because if you're a business person, even if you're starting up a business, you know that the social media space is important. So now, if you meet all of the criteria, and what we have our 3 esteemed judges, and I'll have them stand up, so because during the break time, for those of you who are interested, you're going to go up to them and signify your interest and share some of the evidence that is required. We have with us this morning Madam Liberia Ekwana, please stand for recognition. Madam Oloyin Moriduho, please stand for recognition. And also Benny Glover, please stand for recognition. So they will essentially be our judges. They'll be adjudicating this process. During the lunch break, spare just 15 minutes. They'll have quite a few women to go through. And before the end of the day, we'll be able to announce the very, very fortunate beneficiaries of these initiatives. So thank you for listening, and I really encourage you all to get involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sophia Hostel, for that. Please let's take advantage of this opportunity. A round of applause again to our sponsors and to the women for coming up with this wonderful initiative. So, you recall in the beginning, we said that there will be prizes to be won and that you don't know what you're going to go home with. So just do everything we tell you to do. So, if you know that you met let me start with very difficult one. If you know that you met 10 people since you walked in here, please raise up your hand. 10? You can call their names. You can call their names. You can try. Engineer, is that a challenge? How many? Okay, let's put you on this one. How many? We have called their names. No, it's not for, okay, engineer, you think it's 45. Okay, the beautiful lady with the lovely style. Okay, stand up, tell us the names of the people that you met here. 10. No, Juro. Okay, let's go. You didn't know them before. You met them here this morning. We have sit down. Oh, Juro. Okay, no, you didn't qualify now. What way you tried? Okay, give her a baby round of applause. You tried. But do you know their names? Oh yeah, start. Okay, let's start again. Tell us 5 names. Okay. Hope is not fictitious people. Oh yeah.
No, I can point them.
Okay, call the names and then if she gets your name wrong, that's 0. Okay, go start.
Jovita.
Yeah.
Is that your name? Sonia. Vivian. Ken.
How did you come?
I'm sorry. Okay, 3. I said 5, right? Ijoma. Ijoma, I met her. And Indidi, she said 5.
Okay, what does Ijoma do? Okay. You tried. A round of applause to her. Thank you. This is what this conference is all about. Please leave here with people's thoughts and content that you can build upon for your personal life, your career, and your progress. So let's go to the next session. The next session is titled Career and Business Development Strategies for Today's Professionals and Entrepreneurs. And chairing that panel session is no other person than Stella Kubara. She is the Managing Director of Del York Development Company, a subsidiary of Del York Group. She's a seasoned executive with over 25 years experience specializing in strategic planning, financial management, and market analysis across various industries. With a strong background in business development, hospitality, entertainment, and risk management, Stella has demonstrated her ability to navigate dynamic business environments and drive sustainable growth and success organizations. A former regional director of international operations at Dubai Department of Economy and Tourism DET for 9 years, she is currently pursuing her doctorate, Doctor of Business Administration, our very own doctor. Stella remains committed to enhancing her knowledge and expertise in business management and leadership. Her academic pursuits combined with her practical experience enables her to lecture on topics such as international marketing, tourism, brand management, and hospitality. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the chair of this session, Ms. Stella Kubara.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to move us along a little bit quicker. And so I will go straight to speaking about my panelists and announcing them. And we're going to have this session actually focus on you and them. So more interaction and to go a little bit faster because we have our diamond speaker coming up next. So, first up, I would like to invite to the panel Mrs. Ivy Davis Etikakman, our very own Niger Delta, doing so much. Are there steps on that side? Ivy is a visionary leader. She's an entrepreneur, and she's the editor-in-chief and COO of EveafriqueNews that you see around here doing the entire media package. She has a very strong passion for empowering women and promoting regional icons in the South in Nigeria. I don't know of any person of prominence in the South of Nigeria that she has not featured in her magazine for free. She does not take a fee to do what she does. She's been doing this for over 14 years. A love of the Niger Delta led her to this without compensation. She's been recognized by the River State government as an ordinary woman doing extraordinary things. Please, a warm welcome for Mrs. Ivy Davis Etikakman. And she believed in Kilali tribe from the very first. She anchored us and helped us get off the ground when we had no money and we were just starting out. Thank you so much, Ivy. Please take your seat. I would also like to call up a young one. I call her our young one because I believe she's the youngest speaker we've ever had in Kilali tribe. Her name is Homa Wargu. Please welcome her to the stand as I tell you about her. I will put her age on play. At her age, she is already an award-winning thought leader who has helped thousands of business owners and corporate professionals gain visibility and secure the right opportunities on the world's largest professional network, LinkedIn. That is what she does. And she's from the Niger Delta, specifically from River State. Please take a fantastic seat. We're very, very, very proud of you. She is the founder and lead trainer of the global 20 Days LinkedIn Growth Program with Homa. When an international organization recognizes your skill set and brings you on board to represent them, that is a target or goal for all of us in our industry. So please, another round of applause for Homa. So I'm going to get straight to that. I'm not going to give a narrative. They came here to hear from you guys, not us. They hear from us every week. Let's start with your career, and I'll start by deference with Mrs. Davis Etikakman. You started your magazine 14 years ago. Where did that dream come from, and why did you think that you could grow it? Where did you get the business development skills from? And remember that there are ladies in this audience at all levels, about to start, already started, maybe struggling, want to scale up.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Of course, I'm honored to be on this platform. No, the Kilali tribe, when I don't see them now, they know that I will speak Pidgin. They know I will do that. That we are proud of them is an understatement. We are glad to have them as ours, as bragging rights. So I thank you, Stella, Tony, every one of you, for thinking that I qualify, to speak on this platform. Where did I get my business idea from? So, as a young girl in secondary school, Holy Rosary precisely, and my principal is here. Good morning, ma'am. So she knows what she went through. Trying to put some sense, into her head. At that time, we had Sine Olwe Brown and Ruth Benemesia as newscasters. And as you know, every evening we sat before these women watching them. And my friend and I, we didn't have any career choice. Whilst others were saying, I want to be a lawyer, doctor, we thought about it. We decided to say that we wanted to be newscasters within minutes. We just said it. Because, I mean, everybody was saying something. But now, I am the child of a journalist. My father, Barry Davis, was a renowned journalist in his time. That meant that, I mean, I sleep in front of the TV to write out the news, 7 p.m. news before he comes back every evening. I read Nigerian Tide. I write out all the, how do they call it, top stories and all of it. So I've been a news person. Now, so I went to school, tried to go to school, got a degree, tried to get a job. Now, thought that, well, all this is too hard, I think I will be tailor. So I now went to tailoring school. Wow. You know, did that for a long time. I just dumped it one day and I was just crying. And, my friend Adautuedo, I'm sure she's online watching, came to say, you have a magazine, you have flavor. I said, I better didn't go, and all of that. But anyway, after some prayers, I like to pray. After some prayers and some talking to, we decided to bet EveafriqueNews. Now, why did we decide to do that? At that time, Goodluck Jonathan was president of Nigeria. And it dawned on me, my daughters were in secondary school in Lagos. And in their school at that time, Atlantic Hall, people were surprised to see them. Yeah, you're from Akwa Ibom State. And I took that personal, yeah? So, it dawned on me that the glory of the Niger Delta was sort of hidden. You know, it wasn't seen, it wasn't known. The only thing people knew about the Niger Delta at that time was militancy or one politician or the other. And I said, hell no. I mean, a lot is happening here. By the way, I didn't know this lot was happening. I just knew a lot was happening. There was so much to be celebrated. And so I just decided to do that. I was a contractor at that time with Total, so I thought I had some money, you know. Because when my husband asked me, how do you plan to finance it? I said, I get money my way. You know? You know, but I think that's the thing with prayer. I mean, anything you pray about, the Lord sustains you. So that even when you're tired, He is not tired. Now what happened? I had jobs and I had payments due. And I said, well, I was going to use them to float this magazine, that this desire, this passion, this hobby, it started as a hobby. But, you know, surprised you that I didn't get to, that money wasn't paid to me till 1 year after. And that was very abnormal. Because the IOCs they paid was 90 days. 90 days you get your money, you know. But, I mean, this was going to be a year. I didn't receive any payment. But in that time, we had published 4 editions of EveafriqueNews. You need to clap.
So, as she's talking, there's so many nuggets of perseverance and resilience. I hope you guys are hearing that. She kept publishing a magazine, 4 editions, and she had not been paid. We pray that never happens to you, but you have to stay resilient. We heard, last year the theme was resilience, and we heard our keynote speaker talk about resilience this morning. So keep that in mind. All right, so it was a hobby actually. That's why we're not, I mean, we just wanted to celebrate the Niger Delta. We just wanted to put our faces out there, you know, but so at that time they said, I did this magazine, launch it. I said, I need to understand what I'm doing before I launch it. You know, so that's how come the rebel came. Next nugget, understand what you are doing. Yeah. Sir Adoge spoke about it, about knowing what you want. You can't go after something if you don't know what it is. A lot of people come to me and they say, I'm looking for a job, and I ask them, what is it that you want to do? And their response is, I can do anything. I have no job offer that is titled, I can do anything. You need to know what you want.
So, well, now that was what bettered the Red Bull, which a lot of us here either attended or are aware of. We thought that, okay, so we'll just launch. I mean, at that time, the pinball was in vogue in Lagos, and us Selense girls, we liked to attend the pinball, but we were not invited, So, as an original Harcourt girl, you know how it is now, we really fear anything. We said since they will invite us for people, we will host our own. Anyway, so I mean, that's like they say, the rest is history. A lot of things happened, kept happening. Along the line, I forgot I was a contractor, and started doing this thing, and here we are today.
Thank you so much. Please, a warm round of applause for her. So, Homa, I won't put your age just throws me. When we reached out to her, I was expecting to see someone closer to my age, and when we eventually got talking, I was like, "You're a child." But that just tells you that age is nothing but a number. So, remember that one of your requirements for this wonderful Lagos Business School is to have a LinkedIn profile. How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Okay, she told me to qualify that. Active LinkedIn profile. I don't hire anybody who doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. And it's the same with a lot of companies. A lot of companies now, when you turn in your bid for a contract or you're trying to get a job, they will ask you for your LinkedIn profile and your social media handles. We talked about this last year. So our question to you is, in this digital age, how important is networking, which is, you teach that in LinkedIn, is networking to career and business success?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a proud Ikwere girl. Yeah. And I was born in this land about 24 years ago. Yes. And I have gone out of Port Harcourt to actually build a business and a career that's impacted people in over 30 countries of the world. Glory to God. Okay, so I'm saying that to inspire a lot of my Niger Delta sisters here, that your environment or your age should not be a barrier. As far as you have the ideal prototype of success, you can actually go after it and get it. Concerning your question, right, I would say that networking is a very powerful tool with regards to career development. However, a lot of people don't know or understand what networking is. Networking is about building and maintaining relationships, right? And to do that effortlessly, you need to really identify your giving channels. So just stay with me. What I mean is that if you're networking with somebody, you need to understand what exactly would this person benefit from my presence. Let's talk about digital networking now. You're opening an Instagram account, you're opening a LinkedIn account. Most people don't understand what they are there to give, but they expect their followers to grow. They expect people to come and engage on their profile, buy whatever it is you're selling, but you don't understand how to produce value that people want to be a part of, right? So identify your giving channels. If content is part of your giving channels, strategize and structure that content to ensure that, first of all, it's valuable, and second, it is sustainable. Because when people start, they want to build a professional network, but over time, we don't see you again. You come on LinkedIn today, you post one article, the next time we are seeing you is 2 months after, or a year later, but then you expect your brand to grow regionally and globally, right? So identify those giving channels and know how to articulate whatever it is you want to sell. I think this is one of the major problems of African brands or talents. Let's talk about talents. I remember when I was in the university, I wanted to apply for an internship at Goldman Sachs. So I studied economics in Covenant University, and when we went 300 level, oh, you can clap. It's not easy.
Another key to networking and business is check her confidence level. Does she look like she's scared of you 30 and 40-year-olds? Your confidence has a lot to do with your networking.
Okay, thank you very much. We were applying to intern at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is a global investment bank. And I noticed that a lot of my peers who were academically smarter than I was passed the CV stage.
Well, how was your night? It's not a legal question. So please, let's not use that anymore. But we emphasize things quite a bit. How are you doing today? A simple phrase. How would an African say, how are you doing today? That's exactly how they're going to write it. How are you doing today, my brother? I'm going to put that in your document. I find we write the same way we speak. So our articulation is like a narrative, a whole story, instead of one sentence. No, seriously, since I got back, moved back here, I found that I'm going to business meetings and I ask you for an objective, I ask a simple question and I get a whole freaking 2-page answer of narrative. And when the guy gets done, I'm like, can you say that in one sentence? Because you don't need to write a story. That's how the African culture is, but that's not how business is. So you need to dial back.
Exactly. And then after you get that sorted out, I believe that it's time for us to intentionally master communication. Because for every conversion you would ever make, whether it's a business deal, you get a career promotion, whatever it is, it will come because you have communicated your value to the right person or to the right people. So master communication, and then finally, when you're networking with people, intentionally position yourself not as a marketer, but I'll call it, or I'll say a deliverer. Just stay with me. I teach people to market, right, online, especially LinkedIn. And one thing I'll tell them is that when you show up to talk about whatever it is you do, don't position yourself as a random marketer of a skill or a product. Because whenever someone opens Instagram or LinkedIn, nobody wants to spend money. They're coming there because they want to be helped, right? They want to be either educated, entertained, motivated. If you just show up whenever you want to market stuff, you just show up whenever you want to announce stuff, you just show up whenever you want to talk about the next thing you're launching, they won't see you as a deliverer or somebody they look up to, right? So when it's time to spend money, they will rather spend on the person that has helped them over time. So when you are structuring the giving channel I talk about, like your content, etc., beyond marketing, help people with knowledge. If you're a graphic designer, beyond saying I do graphic design, you should be talking about how graphic design or how good design will make your business scale. Stuff like that. That way they see you in a different light and it's easy to build a relationship with you.
Fantastic. I wanted to go off on a tangent, but I need to focus on you guys. All right, so next question is for you, Ivy. 14 years of the magazine. The tailoring didn't work out. I'm glad you realized that really quickly in life. Because sometimes you go through a whole career path and then you realize you need to sidestep because you're doing the wrong thing. So what are the strategies that you use for your business today for that continuous learning that Dr. Elizabeth talked about and to stay innovative? Remember, we're talking about business development here. Several of you want to scale up, and there are easy ways to do it depending on your product.
I used everything I saw.
You used everything you saw. Explain.
I used everything I saw, I used everything I got. You know, I was curious and very hungry for whatever I was doing to succeed. Therefore, I used everything. You know, when we started this business, take for instance awards now, let me use that as an example, yeah? So when I started, a tailor, somebody who just came from the, you know, I didn't know people receive awards. I didn't even understand it, you know. I didn't understand it. I'd never worked in corporate Nigeria and all of that. I didn't understand it. So I went to interview Virginia Major. When I got,
do you know who Virginia Major is to our keynote speaker?
Excuse me, please, stop it still.
Our keynote speaker comes from a line of amazing, powerful women, and we call her Auntie Bobo. Yes.
We call her PDG. No, DG. Anyway, so I went to interview her because she was the first female, a Rivers woman, to own a modern pharmacy, not a chemist. You know, when we were growing up, we went to chemists to buy medicine. But along the line in Port Harcourt, I noticed that there was this chemist, but you know,
a different
very
flavor.
fine place, you know. I mean, very modern, very, so I think, well, where was it safe? So I lived in Wojo, so I would drive all the way, you know, because I liked the ambience. I liked everything about it. So along the line, I got to know that I belonged to a Rivers woman, and I was just proud of her. So years later, when we were on this Eveafrique journey, we decided to interview her. Why did she? What gave her the mindset? What gave her, you know? So anyway, we go to her office upstairs, and there's a whole wall filled with awards. Okay, I mean, ceiling to roof. How do you call it? I mean, I was.
You said ceiling to roof.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Ceiling to floor.
Yeah.
Bear with me. My evening school will go. So anyway, I was curious and I asked her, why? And then she explained it to me. Wow, it made a lot of sense. So what am I saying? I used everything. Anything I saw, I admired, I used it. When we came online, started the business, I didn't know what was Facebook. I didn't know it. My sister, she lives in America. She was saying, there's already a Facebook now. Then some young person came and said, I have to do Facebook. I said, what is Facebook? The person explained to me. I said, go ahead. What am I saying? Anything I heard or saw and encountered that looked nice, that, you know, engineered growth in any way, I collected my portion.
She's blown me away. I've been around a long time, and I've never heard anybody say that they used the giving of awards to grow their business. And so in awarding and recognizing other people, her own business grew. That's amazing. Thank you.
Because she explained to me, Virginia Major explained what an award meant. She said to me that an award is a recognition for hard work. She has quite a lot of, or she still has it. You know, it was so much that I needed to see a whole wall, you know, filled with awards. I said, oh, really? So you mean this award?
But then why did you? So then you now decided that you wanted to start recognizing people.
No, I didn't. It wasn't immediately.
Okay.
It wasn't immediately. It was like, it wasn't immediately. It was when I saw the name, yeah? So when I saw the name, that particular name, then we started doing that at Eveafrique when we saw the name. But no, what I was saying is, I used everything I saw to grow, you know. So I opened myself up to learning, you know.
Thank you so much. Okay, final question to Homa, and then we'll probably take one or two from the audience in the interest of time, because we kind of cut back this session. And I'm going to focus on LinkedIn because we need everyone in this room to be registered on LinkedIn before the end of today. So, nobody wants to do it. What did you say, madam? Aha! You see, this is why we have Ms. Zay. Do you know what she's doing now? LinkedIn should pay me for promoting LinkedIn. I'm here. But I'm thinking about you guys and what it's going to do for you. So please, when they do get on LinkedIn, what are the strategies that you can share with them to accelerate their profiles on LinkedIn and get the activity that they need?
Okay, thank you. So when you do get on LinkedIn, right, one of the major things you should focus on is, of course, first set up your profile like she has talked about. However, I believe a lot of people focus so much on their profiles and they forget about optimizing their presence, because no matter how attractive, beautiful your profile is, if nobody ever gets to see their profile, it's as good as useless, right? So after you've done everything for your profile, ensure that you have a good presence. And what do I mean? Presence is what you do on the platform. So you should not have spent all your money, time, energy optimizing your profile, and then you're not putting out any content to really market whatever it is that you do, right? LinkedIn now has newsletters, right, for thought leaders that are here. Creating newsletters will basically brand your expertise in whatever subject matter you focus on, right? So if I come to your LinkedIn profile and I see that you put out newsletters on a probably weekly basis, monthly basis, etc., it just makes me ascribe weight to your brand, right? Because you are actually dispensing knowledge. I usually tell people that before people get to pay you for your knowledge, they should have tasted of it, right? So a lot of people are looking for people to hire them, people to buy from them, but people have not tasted of that knowledge. You need to understand that there are a lot of people speaking now, there are a lot of voices. If you want to attract the right people with your LinkedIn profile and presence, you need to ensure that you break the trust issue people have, right? And you can do that by allowing us taste of your knowledge. Allow me to give this example. There's a lady that was speaking about an interview she was having. She does HR, and she said she had about 3 candidates. They were applying for a UI UX role, and the 3 of them came. The first had his interview, second had his interview, the third one came, and he had already built the UI UX design for the company, and he came to show it to them. If you were in her situation, who would you hire? You hire the third person, right? So ensure that people taste of your knowledge. For your profile, honestly, just use every section that LinkedIn has given you, your profile picture, your about section, experience, education. Use it to articulately market whatever it is that you do, right? I don't think LinkedIn is that deep. You just need to understand how exactly to communicate whatever it is you do to the right people. And when you've sorted out your profile, use content to attract people to that profile.
She said, I don't think it's that deep. I like it. I like what she said. Just one question from the audience, because we did promise you interaction, but make it a good question. The other thing she talked about as we identify who has a question, she narrated what it is. But for those of you who do not know what experiential marketing is, it is when you give someone a taste of your products, like she said, or a taste of your knowledge. If you own a bakery, go to the mall, set up a stand, and give out tastes of what you do. You see it in America all day long. All the brands and all the products are standing in the aisles and they're giving away free bites of their food. And what happens? You take a bite, you like it, and they'll point you to where you can pick it up to buy. It's called experiential marketing. You can do that with a non-tangible product as well. Like she gave the example of HR. People prefer to buy what they have experienced. So think about that. One question? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Abarijima Cynthia, and my question is this. We are talking on career business development strategies, and Mrs. Stella and Walma said that they they went out and then they came back, and then their business success was strategically based on the knowledge they got out. So I want to know, do you have to leave where you are and come back in order to grow?
The answer is no, okay? But you have to go to wherever the knowledge is that you want to gain. By forming Kilali Tribe and doing this in Port Harcourt, we are bringing knowledge here, so you don't have to go to Lagos. So the answer to that is no. But for now, you have to follow the knowledge. You have to follow knowledge and you have to follow innovation. Could I have learned what I know today in Port Harcourt? No. It doesn't mean Port Harcourt is bad. But we have to be intentional in bringing the knowledge to you guys and keeping it here. It's called human migration. We have to reverse that and keep the knowledge here. So it's an example that we hope will start to end and you'll be able to get what you want where you are based. I think that would be the final question.
So one more question for the speaker. So anyone? So let's go to that song.
They're desperate. Give 2 more questions, tomorrow. We came in 30 minutes under time.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Blessing Melix. I have this question for Homer. I'm a realtor, and you know what our business always hammers about content creation. Now, this is my current challenge where I have ideas because our market is really competitive. So for you to have a larger market share, you have to be creative with content. Now, this is my challenge. I have issues of, I have these ideas I want to bring to life. But as a budding realtor, I have this fear that somebody with a larger audience might copy my ideas and get ahead of me, even though I was the original brain behind that idea. So what do I do? What do I do? Thank you.
Can I take all the questions together? So just ask the last question. Is that okay?
Because we might forget what the question is. Answer real quick. No, go ahead, Mama, while she's finding this.
Okay, so my advice would be, as long as you keep waiting, that big person will keep growing.
Exactly.
So you just have to start. Really, you just have to start. If you know that whatever it is you're putting out is authentic, put it out, because most times people can determine who has the authentic content.
I find this phenomenon very much in Nigeria, not the other Africans. People do not want you stunt your own growth for fear that somebody else will copy you. It's unbelievable. Let me tell you something. If you have a penny in your hand and you want to add more, you have got to open your hand. Now, that 1 penny you have might go away, but you stand a chance to add another penny to it. You can't walk around like this. You've got to open your hand. Yes, you might lose some, but you will win some. So don't worry about the competition if, like she said, your product is authentic.
Thank you. Final question.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ijoma. My question is, I'm a lawyer and my profession, we're not allowed to advertise. And I know advertising puts you out there. So how do I navigate selling myself out there and then there's a restriction on advertisement?
I've learned something new today. Lawyers in Nigeria are not allowed to advertise?
No, ma'am.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, actually, because I've had a couple of lawyers join my training program and they tell me some of these things I can't do it because of my profession. So I understand what you're saying. What I usually tell them is, if you cannot excessively market, ensure that you are rightly positioned, especially if you're, in fact, across the board, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, right? For example, an optimized profile on LinkedIn is not the most attractive profile.
We have a lot of conversations going around.
Okay,
An optimized profile doesn't necessarily mean that it's the most attractive profile. What it means is that it's the profile that LinkedIn would suggest to your target audience if they are looking for your skill or your service. So if your profile optimized enough for LinkedIn to suggest your whatever it is you do, you can do that by ensuring that if you're a lawyer, you scatter or place keywords around your profile. For example, if I'm a photographer, my profile should have stuff like headshots, picture, photography. Because if my name is John and I'm a photographer, if someone comes to LinkedIn to look for a photographer, they won't look for John. They will search for photography, all this type of stuff. So ensure that your profile is rightly positioned, right? Such that whenever people are looking for legal services, you are the person that pops up. So you don't necessarily have to struggle marketing if you're not allowed to. Is that okay?
And there are ways to advertise without advertising. Start speaking at events. Talk about yourself. Start writing features. Start writing newsletters. People will read it and like it. You have not done one single advertisement, but you've let them know who you are.
My name is Blessing, and I'm Harcourt. My question, not working. Okay, we can hear you. Okay. My question is for Sister Ivy.
You said that you were hoping for your payments, but they didn't come. Yet you started. You published some magazines without payment. I want to ask, how much support did you get from your community, like Port Harcourt? Because this town, looks support looks scarce. And again, how much mentoring do you do? Now, for someone like me, I'm the CEO of Celebration Hub. I celebrate people on Facebook freely, but now I'm taking a new route by doing it more properly, like being paid to cover all of those things. How do I know when people have events and all that? What I'm asking you is, do you do any mentoring? Do you do any support? Do you give people support at all? I don't know.
You know, you asked like 5 questions.
Let her answer one.
Okay. I just want you to know that I've never met her before in person, but I noticed that every year of my parents' birthday, whether it's my mother or my father, somebody called Blessing would do a fantastic write-up. Never met my parents before. I put it on Facebook. I was like, who is this person that is praising my parents more than me? When she says she celebrates our people, she truly does, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you.
I am supporter.
How much of mentoring do you do? That's what I want to know.
Okay, your first question is...
No, she's qualified it. How much mentoring and how do you do it?
Last year when I started off EveafriqueNews, while I told myself I had money to start, you know, ethically for news, you know, journalism, we are sponsored by adverts, you know, so I knew that, but I told myself that, look, I have XYZ money by this side. Remember, this was my first year. It was just a greenhorn, you call that, yeah? But surprisingly, I still went out to the streets looking for adverts with my prototype, whatever. So, I want to do XYZ. And surprisingly, I got support in form of advert placements. So from the first edition of the magazine, we had advert placements for 4 editions from 3 or 4 people of high. Now that was a trust that I wasn't expecting at all. So that was how we were able to finance, you know, the first year before other things began to happen. Do I mentor? Of course I mentor. I'm sure in this hall my mentees, I have mentees here. You know, I am very sure of that. If we were to do a head count, I'm sure 10 people will stand up to say, I am their mentor. But I won't mentor in absentia, yeah? If you want me to mentor you, you come to me and say, sis, I need you to talk to me. How is this thing done? I will talk to you. But if you do not come, I mean, there is no way. How do I reach you? How do I know you want mentoring? How do I calculate that? So listen. If you need mentoring, please just come to me and we'll have that conversation.
Okay.
Support. Not only that. Support. I tell people, there is Port Harcourt inside of Port Harcourt. One mistake I made, is I made that mistake as well. When we started, I had a list of Port Harcourt people and all of that. At that time, they didn't understand what I was doing. But I realized that there was a Port Harcourt outside of Port Harcourt. Sorry, I'm not used to using my phone. I'm used to writing. So whilst traditional Port Harcourt people were like, I do waiting they talk. There were one or two people who were like, oh madam, I like this your idea. Come and explain it to me. And that segment continued to grow, and then today we are here. I don't know if I've answered the question.
And like I said, everything she says has a nugget in it. That she was doing things that people didn't understand, but that didn't stop her. As for the mentoring, I'm so glad that you like to mentor, because I don't. No one of you can stand up here and say, I've ever mentored you, and I would never want to. So just putting it out there, because last year, His Highness, Pastor Tony Cole, put me on the spot, and it won't happen this year. No mentoring. Ladies, please, a round of applause for our panelists. Please.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together for the panel on career and business development strategies for today's professional entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. So we'd like to extend our thanks by honoring you with this award.
So on behalf of the Kilali tribe, presenting this to Homa Wobu, I think what we've learned is value is not represented by age or number. We've learned so much from you. You've given so much value in such a little time. So we wish you all the best, and we're glad to be a part of the story in Niger Delta. Thank you for being a part of our story. And on behalf of Kilali tribe, I'd like to present Ms. Ivy this award. Thank you so much for not stopping, for being consistent. That's one of the things that we're not encouraged enough. Even when you fail, you just stop. You just continue. So thank you so much.
Let's give them a round of applause as they leave the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, what an awesome panel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Eden. That was late. So while we were having our meeting, a special guest of mine walked in. I'd like to recognize him, a personal friend, a friend of the family, His Highness Ephraim Falobi Speed, OON, DNS, the Thomas Iberi Speed, the second to one heart. So thank you very much for coming. I'm going to put him on the spot. When I heard about Kilali tribe, Niger Delta women doing great things. How come I've not heard about this women before? I said, you heard about them. He's promised that he's going to sponsor us next year. So please, a round of applause for him. Our big data. Thank you, sir. So before we bring on our diamond speaker in 5 minutes, I'd like to call on stage an award-winning artist to kind of give us some sonorous melody to just make you relax and get ready for what our diamond speaker will say to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the stage our diamond, our award-winning artist, Kilali, a daughter of the soil. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Is everyone as inspired as I am this afternoon? Having a good time? So, as the Tamara said, I'm going to just do a short music break, and then I will see you guys a little later as well. Today is, we have the theme, embracing change and understanding our potential. And I'd like to play this song for you that talks about letting go of imposter syndrome, letting go of fear and doubt, and just relaxing, taking your mind off everything that doesn't get you to your truest potential. Especially today, sit back, relax, and just take the day all in. This is called Free Your Mind.
Focus on the promises and blessings will remain.
which I hadn't shared with our moderator. Her mom, Niger Delta, we met at a 20-woman event about a month away. I didn't want to focus on her. I want the focus to stay on her. When I mentioned the other person's name, to divert. Okay. Her mother. No, man, let me tell her story first and then I'll say it after. Because they will forget her. 20-woman lunch, and we are talking. My late brother Caribbean happened to have been dedicated a movie for which she wrote the music, the lyrics. The movie is called Breath of Life. She didn't know I was Caribbean's brother. She found out that day. She wrote, and they won 10 awards at this year's AMBCA. Anyway, fast forward, she opens herself, vulnerable, and she comes to me and she says, I want to give back. I want to make an impact. I want to start being felt, and give something. And I told her about Kilali tribe. I told her about the conference. And she said to me, I would be honored to come and perform and mingle and talk about my story. She's young, just like Mama, and a young mother with 2 children, and she's still trying to build her career. So I'm glad you said yes over a breakfast. I'm so proud of you. And I have to make this a Wushuka happy or a intro. Her mother is Ambassador Opinimi Akinkube. Aha, see? So if I told you that before, she's your daughter. But she was from here first now. Okay. Former Ajumokopia. All right. So she's been. But in River State, we don't give up our women, though. And truly, in their place in particular, even if you get married, you have to go back and be buried in your father's place.
I'm gonna break this man. I need to tell her. She's gonna go on and on and on. Go ahead and free your mind. Go ahead and free your mind. You can beat that voice. Go ahead, free your mind. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to your session and your performance this afternoon, so you do not want to leave. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, please indulge me. Please be upstanding. Please be indulge me. Please stand on your feet, stand on your feet, stand on your feet. Okay, you're going to do something I do. Anything I do, please do. Do as I do. Who plays that game in secondary school? Do as I do. Do as I do. Do as I do.
Guys, look at the 80-year-old.
We're gonna do it again, fast this time. Mama is our poster. If Mama can do it, we can. If Mama can do it, we can. Okay, now let's do very fast. Okay, thank you very much. Whoa, I'm challenged. Who wants to be like Mama at 80? I want to be like her at 80. I tap into that anointing as we do. Well done, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for our next session. Our diamond speaker flew all the way from Lagos. She's the reason why we have the Kilali track today. She's come with a lot of goodness, and before she comes on stage, just in case you do not know who she is, I'll read out her profile quite quickly. Ibukun Oluwa Abiodun Awoshika. Born Bilkisu Abiodun Moturayo Omobolanle Adekola on December 24th, 1962. She is a Nigerian businesswoman, motivational speaker, and an author. Mrs. Ibukun Oluwa Awoshika is a graduate of chemistry from the University of Ile-Ife. She is an alumna of the Chief Executive Program of Lagos Business School, the Global Executive MBA of IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain, and the Global CEO Program of Wharton, IESE, and CEIBS Business Schools. I think we're going to clap. For more to come, very impressive profile, ladies and gentlemen. As a fellow of the African Leadership Initiative, Aspen Global Leadership Network, Institute of Directors, and Society for Corporate Governance Nigeria, Eviko, through her project, aspires and uses her opportunities in life to further the greatness of her dear country by raising entrepreneurs to create jobs for the large unemployed youthful population. She is a member of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, served on the National Job Creation Committee, NCJC, and sits on the International Advisory Board of IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain. She serves on multiple global and local boards. I'm honored to serve under her as the CEO of an advisory board called the Nigerian National Advisory Board for Impact Investment, now called GSG National Partner, and serves on the global board, GSG Impact, and so many to mention. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I make welcome Mrs. Ibukun Oluwa Abiodun Awoshika to the stage. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Please be seated. On a wet, rainy day in Port Harcourt. I haven't been to Port Harcourt in a very long time. But I think the last time I came to do something for Elevenji. It's a long time. But you see these girls, I'm so proud of you. I just want you to know. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of what they've done. And I'll explain why. You know, in 2022, when we had the first International Women Leadership Conference, there were averagely about 500 women from all over the world at that conference. And our closing session on the first school day of conference was 4 hours spent on track building. And the focus of that was to teach on the fact that no woman who wants to get somewhere can do it alone.
And that apart from you learning what is strategic knowledge, it's important for you to build strategic relationships. And the importance of intentional relationships was established through the tribe building session. We went through about 4 different models, and we talked about the value of, at a certain stage in your life. I mean, it's easy to think, oh, I have friends from secondary school, I have friends from primary school, I have my university friends, and they're all great. However, there's stages you get to in life that the friends you need for the season that you're in, they need to be different from the ones that you grew up with. Because your requirements are specific, and you must find the people who share them. I'm a Yoruba girl, and the Yoruba people say 20 children cannot play together for 20 years. There's a reason they say that. It's because over the period of the 20 years, your needs become different. You all grow up in different ways, and therefore you must readjust your circle. Even as you maintain your relationships and your friendship, if they're working for you, but you must intentionally cultivate certain kinds of relationships. But I did my own job over the 3 days of the conference, and many tribes have emerged from the TIWLC community. But Kilali stands out as a tribe of honor and vision and accomplishment. These 12 girls or 14 girls had never met until they got to the conference. Then they realized they are all from the Niger Delta region, and there's work to be done. And I have a policy. Everything I do in life, I say, you go and pay it forward. Because I can only go so far. And the multiplication of the work is by how everybody that gets any benefit from it multiplies it forward. And what they've done, first by multiplying each other, is supporting and standing together to watch each other's back. But more than that, they weren't satisfied to just build a tribe for their own benefit. They chose. And it was in the same year that they had the first conference. That's to tell you how much work they put into it. By November, the conference was in March. By November, they were in Port Harcourt, having the first Kilali tribe conference. 120 women in attendance. Because I follow and monitor what they do. And I know that they have been amazing since then. They have stayed together. And now, something that's important. When 14 amazing, successful women stay together to do good, the old tale was always that women cannot stay together, they will fight. These ones can never fight. They're smarter than that. Women have grown, they have matured, they understand what is important now. It's the reason we were able to build Windbase. For those of us who were founders of Windbase, 22 years ago, we were told that it was not possible. We were in our 30s. The oldest ones among us were in their 40s. Everybody thought, oh, you these ambitious guys, you're not going to make it together. Well, it's 22 years after. We finished our job. We've even gone. We left completely, took ourselves out of the board, out of board of trustees, put the next generation, and we watched from the sideline. And the organization continues to bless thousands of women every year. So I'm announcing a new day where women are concerned. And I'm telling the fathers of girls in the house that why you should rejoice about what the women are doing is not just because it's for women. First, it's an economic issue. The value they create by nurturing other women to value will create value for the whole of the Niger Delta region. Because the economic empowerment of the women in the region doubles the level of growth that is possible within the region. And it makes the women economic additions to the environment. They will bring value. And women that are economically empowered raise economically empowered children. And when life happens, men lose jobs. Men die sometimes. Life happens. When you have a team that every member of the team, the man and the woman, have value that they bring to the table, they create a better table and they sustain us. I've watched many men build businesses and something happens to them. Strangers take it because they didn't empower their wife and their household. Outsiders take the value because the woman doesn't understand what it is. And even if you leave money behind, it's easy to consume money if you don't know how to turn it into value. So the work that Kilali does is not just for recognition. It's because they're committed to creating real value. My sermon this morning is not about anything I have just said. But it's to give you an intro so that we can understand that there is a reason why the work they do. And they give up time from wherever they work. They're all around the world. Everybody leaves their posts, spend their money, and use their network to raise all the support in order to fund this. They don't charge you a dime. To sit in a conference like this in Lagos for a day, you have an idea of what it will cost. So yes, there's a lot of value on the table. My assignment is to talk about you navigating business, family, and personal growth. Now, I want to start from something that, am I controlling my slide or somebody else is? Okay. Can you go back to my opening slide? This is the problem when you're working from outside. Okay. The balancing act. Managing and navigating your business, family, and personal growth. Okay, go to the next slide. It's one of those things I don't like to say. All right. Now, this is one thing I believe very much. And all those who are part of my community know. The one thing I desire that you will do the most in your life is that you will be true to yourself. Women in particular live other people's lives. I like it when our mommy said, my father decided I would be a teacher. And his friend, with his limited knowledge at that point, decided that the only way she could be a teacher was to go to a modern school, even though she was smart enough to get into a secondary school. But thank God she fought her way through in order to achieve one of the things. And what you said, ma'am, was amazing. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always in school. In fact, on the 12th of October, I'm on my way out and I'm starting a 9-month program. I'm sure they're shocked, but I'm always in school. I always find something to do. 9 months of school. But I'm in and out, but I'm on a 9-month program of October that starts on the 14th of October. So yes, what you said is factual. Should I self be true? My question to all of you is, how true are you to you? How truly are you living your life and not the life that others have chosen for you, or the life you think you have been forced to conform to? Because I have watched too many mothers come back home and say to your children, I gave up everything for you. So, who asked you? Because frankly, we hold our children in bondage and accountable for things they have no part in. Oh, I should have done this because she didn't give it up. Her father said do this. At that point, she was at the age of compliance. She complied. But at the time and season she had control, she made choices that allowed her to pursue her own goals. How true are you to your own life? Show the next slide. I want to show you something. See, there's a reason I have this fire of ball, this ball of fire. This is you. This is your life. This is your ambition, your dreams, your vision, everything you ever thought that you would like to be, everything you ever dreamed that you would be. From a young girl, when there was no husband or children, you had dreams, you had aspirations, you had things you wanted to be. Now, do you think this ball of fire goes out just because you married or you have children? It never goes. See, the way I believe, I have the honor, apart from the rest of my life, of being a pastor. So please forgive me if I try to cancel all your spiritual answers to anything I say to you. The reality is, God is not an author of confusion. He will not place in you a desire, a dream, and skills and ability to do things, and then say, because I have ordained that you should be a mother as well, or be a wife, that because of that, everything else goes under. This ball of fire never goes out. Your dream, your desires, your aspirations are there. When you choose the right guy to marry, and this is why we must invest time in teaching our girls how to choose husbands. Because you see, we always say go to school. When they finish school, we say bring husband. From where? How? We don't bother to discuss the fundamentals of how your spouse is a key success factor to your life. And why it is important that if you're a girl that is going somewhere and you got this fire burning on the inside of you, you have to first spend time to dimension, to have a sense of who you are, to have a sense of where you're going, to have a sense of your gifts and your talents and how you want to express yourself. You won't fully comprehend it or know it, but you'll have a sense. That's why it's specific about using a word. Have a sense of it. And therefore, when you marry, your husband is meant to be an addition to your life. As the Bible says that the wife is the helper, the man is the nurturer, which means together you're meant to support each other to become the best of yourselves. It's not about you then having to bury your life and then you leave the rest of it with regrets. Too many women leave with regrets. Too many women feel their fire is not out, but every time they see their peers that they went to school with, the ones they were smarter than at school, who are achieving things, they feel bad, despise those ones, and sometimes they almost hate their own family because they think they cost them their vision and their ambition. So I'm saying, let's make an attempt to correct. No matter what your age is irrelevant. KFC is a global company. The guy who started it at age what? 65. He was old. He was retired. He needed money. His pension money was not enough. But he knew how to do one thing, make chicken, and he would sell to his neighbors to make extra money. That's what led to a global brand. Now he's been dead for a long time, but his story remains for generations. So I don't have respect for how old you are. It's not relevant to the conversation. What is important is this. What are your pending dreams? What are your pending desires? What are the things that you know that you can do, that you have capacity to do? Well, there's education at every level. Our mother spoke to us about that. So whatever it is that you still need to learn in order to be able to do some of the things you might not have done before, but you can still do, then go and do it. What is important is how you finish. How do you want to finish? Because what if you say, oh, I'm already 60, I'm old, and you live till 95? Really? You have 35 years to make a change and you didn't? That's somebody else's full lifetime. So it's really about you understanding that there's a fire on the inside of you. God made each person with a vision and ambition. There's a drive. It comes in different ways. Some sell theirs off. I'm not going to marry a rich husband. Good for you. Well, rich husbands die. He says, straight up, rich husbands die. Even if he leaves you all the money in the world, if you don't know how to manage it, you will burn it. When life happens, what value will you give your children if you have no substance in you? So that cannot be your strategy. Whatever it is that is the gift that is on the inside of you, your husband and your children cannot be your excuse. When you have children, yes, like you saw Elizabeth talk about She's a mother of 4. She had triplets and 1. She had 1 before, and then triplets came. Can you imagine? In the middle of a full corporate life. And yet, she's living that corporate life enough for Kilali to find how to bring her here today. That is intentionality. That is making a decision that I can do this. Oh, I'm married, I'm waiting to have children, I've been waiting for a while, and then the children come. Yes, you adjust. You make amendment. There's no superwoman, but there's smart women. So it's not about becoming a superwoman who dies trying to impress everybody else that I can do everything. No. There's no benefit in having labor if CS is what is better for you. Because the end result is what? The birth of the child. So why do some women say, no, I must have it naturally? If you die in the process, what's that about that? So frankly, it's really that whatever you want to do, that you need to do in order to achieve setting your flame alive, in order to deliver the value that you have, put a structure and a system together that helps you to do it. Find the right circle around you to help you to achieve it. Go on to the next thing. Now, this is you. Let's say an intentionality to the big picture of you being big, and the mother and the wife being small. It's not because I'm undermining the role of the husband. I'm married to a husband. And I have 3 amazing sons. So I'm the only girl in our house. So I am not fighting, I'm not against the boys, because I only have boys to defend in my house. However, my husband knows that the best of me comes home because the best of me is allowed to manifest. Because I'm allowed to express my gifts and my talent. And for how many girls and how many women in the house are single? Put up your hand. Okay. There is enough of you for me to spend a few minutes. Okay, let me get this right. Please, whatever you do, don't just marry because you want to marry. It will be the most foolish decision you will make. It's really important that you have a sense of yourself, and that no matter who wants to marry you, be sure that you want to marry the person. That the only reason you marry the person is because you want to marry the person. There's a difference between somebody wanting to marry you and you wanting to marry the person. I hope the person that wants to marry you knows why. But more importantly, I hope you know why you want to marry the person you want to marry. And you should never make that decision. It should be the most important decision of your life. You should never make that decision except to have a sense of yourself. And therefore you know, this is the right person for me. And therefore, be married. Let me share a bit of my history. As a young woman, finished school, started a manufacturing company at the age of 25 going on 26. It was not a very common thing in my time, and manufacturing was definitely not attractive in Nigeria's context. There was no light there, there's still no light. And I've been in business for 35 plus years now, running a manufacturing business. So it's really to first think about you and what your journey is like. So when I started that, I remember that there was a boyfriend who wanted to marry me, but he was in the army, even though he was a doctor. He was a dentist, a doctor too. So I looked at him and I said, well, I can't marry the military guy. Apologies to anyone. Why? Because as far as I understood it there, you know, the wife and the children will be in one place, they will be moving around. And as they move around, they also sow seeds around. And that was not the picture of what I wanted for myself. So I made up my mind, no, this is not happening. So I got myself out of that. Then there was a guy that I really liked, handsome and all of that. He was in the diplomatic service. Had a very successful mother, but she controlled everything. I didn't want a mother-in-law that would control my home and my life. And 2, I did not want to be a diplomat's wife. Why? Because they don't work. The spouses tend to follow the ambassador from place to place, and they can only work for the embassy or something. So their careers I sort of checked. But I knew I wanted to make something of my life. Did I really know it more than I was expressing? No. So my sense was enough to make a choice. And I said no. Now, when I met my husband, petroleum engineer, working in NNPC, young. So some, he's a civil servant. So some, I'm a young woman building a manufacturing company. He wasn't enough for me because they felt I should be looking at someone higher than me. See, if you get confused by those things, you will get it wrong. I met a man, a decent, God-fearing man, who was a professional in work from a decent family, who loved everything that I was, that I am, including my ambition, who got excited by my drive and the things that I wanted to do. A guy who wanted me to be the best of myself. And it was clear to me even then that I could not have made a better choice. And so I chose him as my husband. And we've been married now for 34 years. Now, the reason why it's important for you to get the facts right, so that, because you see, the balancing the act only works when the fundamentals are right. And one of the key fundamentals for any woman who wants to operate in the three offices is the guy. If the guy you pick as your husband, if he's right, the journey is a lot easier. Your mothering is a lot easier. Your being a wife is a lot easier. And your being yourself is a lot easier. Because you will get the right supporting environment in your household. And every day, my husband is not here, but every day I am grateful for the choice of the man that I call my husband. Because in the 34 years of my journey and whatever success that I have achieved, I have had the good fortune of having the space and the opportunity to run my race. Now, a lot of wisdom is required on your side as well. But, you see, the wisdom that is required comes from you understanding who you are, knowing where you want to go, and knowing how you need to walk your own to make sure that it works for you. Because then it will not be about other people's opinion. You know how you look straight and stay focused on your agenda? That's what you do. In mothering, I have 3 sons. But they didn't come in the same generation. Yeah. My first is 3 years and 4 months older than my second. My second is 7 years and 4 months older than my third. By the time the third one came, I thought I was done with the 2. I had done all the hard work of mothering along with career building. So when that last one creeped through, it was a real task. No, I'm being honest. It was a task and a half. Because there were days, I remember the decision for my son to go to boarding school in England came from having 52 calls in one day. I was in a board meeting, and by the time I was done, and I picked up my phone, my son had called me 52 times. And I'm like, Mom, why? I just wanted to talk to you. I said, what are we in a meeting? He said, there's nothing. Because he's right. I'm his mother. There's no duplicate mother. And he had a right to ask for that. So I have to find a way. You know, as chairman of First Bank, the first thing my essay used to do was to go to the website of King's School Canterbury and look at all the dates of my son's parents' meeting, exeats, and after, and enter them into my diary first. And I enter every boardroom, and as you are pointing, we need to have a meeting on this day, I already have a meeting. What is my meeting? In my son's school. I don't need to explain to you. I don't need an explanation. I had to find how it worked. But I didn't have to give up one for the other. I had to give up moments for the other. How do the moments work? So, when I play my role with the children, I remember that my husband is entitled to his time. And therefore I remember Once the children go back to school in January, it is diarized in my schedule that I go off with my husband for about 10 days or so. We do the islands, anywhere around the world. I'll do husband time. So if we do like 10 days and all of that and come back, and I want to go to Australia the next day, what do you think the answer will be? And we're getting the gist of it. So there is intentionality, there is strategic planning and management. There will be hard days of sacrifices. But you must first know why you're doing it. You must know where you're going, and you must find your allies. Creating the structures and the alliances to make it work for you. My mother-in-law lived with us for 20 years. When I say that from her, she's not a witch. She's my husband's mother, and she was a great blessing in my life for the 20 years she lived with us. But what did I benefit from it? Because I asked her to come. At a point, she didn't want to live alone anymore, so she moved in with her daughter. And this her daughter was my only problem in the entire other side. So I used to have to drop my son, and my cousin took care of him with my mother-in-law at my sister-in-law's place. And then when I'm coming from work in the evening, I'll go and pick them. But every day I will have to explain why I'm late, why there's traffic on the go bridge, why my meetings went late, and all of that. So when I was going to have my second son, I decided to change of strategy. And the change of strategy was simply that, you know what, instead of taking my son to my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law's house, I moved my mother-in-law to my house. And once I moved my mother-in-law to my house, I made sure that for the next 20 years, she didn't have to go anywhere. What does that entail? Love, honor, respect, celebrate, and take care of her. That was easy for me to do. Accommodate my sister-in-law. Why? It's easier to accommodate her on my own territory. Because she would have to see her mother, so I did not say do not come to my house. But she would come to my house and see her mother. That's fine. I manage that. See? Decide what your realities are. Decide your own context. What is the context of your life, your scenario? I love my husband, he loves his mother, and he loves his mother for him. So we work together to make it work. And my children had a full-time adult who loved them even more than me, always in the house. No matter what the house helps were doing back and forth, I had stability in my home because my mother-in-law was permanently there. She lived with us for 20 years and went to heaven, and we celebrated her, and I knew that she had been good to me. What I'm saying is, you want the balancing act? Being a wife and being a mother should not disturb you, because when you get to heaven, God is going to ask what you did with your talents. My husband and my children will not be acceptable excuses. Why? Because there is wisdom available. The Bible says, does anyone lack wisdom? There's wisdom available for you to work out your own salvation, to successfully be able to be everything that you should be, and yet be the wife and the mother to you. Does that mean we'll all be perfect? I didn't say that. Like our brother said, oh, some days, you have to walk a tough walk. You know about my last one? At the stage of my life that it came, because I was so busy and all of that, I traveled a lot. So I became creative. What did I create? We created Mother and Sunday. What does Mother and Sunday is? I've traveled, come back. I pick a Saturday or Sunday. I'm just the handbag and I'm the checkbook. Anything he wants to do on that day, we will do. That became such a thing that my son, oh, mommy, we haven't had a Mother and Sunday for a while. We will go. It created quality, tangible, memorable time, relationship, interaction, building, but allowed me to still be me, but allowed me to still be his mother. I found systems and ways to make it work. That also works well because you have a spouse that works. So you need to find how your spouse works for you. Now, don't give me the standard answer. Oh, my husband is not your husband. I know. I already know that. However, whoever you have married, if you're already married, work out your language, your communication, and the relationship that allows you to share your vision with your spouse. I would say share your vision with your stakeholders. Who are my stakeholders? My primary stakeholders in my life, my husband and my children. They are my primary stakeholders. When I went to business school, in fact, I wanted to go to business school, and all of it, my husband said, oh yeah, fine, it's fine. Oh, they said I went to EC. As I was preparing to take my GMAT exam, I found out I was pregnant without my last child. Oh my God. So I said to myself, I'm pregnant, forget business school. Well, temporary setback. How long is pregnancy? 9 months project. Does that take away a lifetime ambition of life? No, it shouldn't. That's why even though they told her to go to modern school, she found her way back all the way to a PhD. What you need to check is how many people went to modern school with their money who ever crossed out of that line. Most probably did not. Because people do not push themselves out of restrictions enough to get to their goal. Because they let their fire burn to waste. So when 9 months, okay. So I was pregnant, it's not a sickness. I had a baby. Once I had a baby, I said, okay, can I go now? I think my husband said yes, thinking, how are you going to go to business school with a baby? Well, I found how. Prepared myself, did the GMAT exam, and passed. My baby was 6 months old when I resumed in Spain. It's true. 18 months of my MBA, I had a baby growing up at the same time. I was going back and forth between Spain and Nigeria because it was a vision I had set for myself, a need that I felt I required to continue to grow my business forward. And all of those things added to my profile for all the places I serve around the world right now. Because, yeah, as an entrepreneur, I started early. So I was successful early. And I could keep building. But there's much more than that when you get to a certain stage. There is knowledge that is broader and wider that is required. And with intentionality, I knew that I had to prepare my hands. So I'd gone to Lagos Business School, not the chief executive program. But after a while of that, I knew that I needed more. I was thirsty, I was hungry for more knowledge. But I knew that to achieve it, I had to pay the price. Balancing the act was my responsibility. But it's made a lot easier with the partnership of your spouse. And therefore, you will have wisdom. So when your friends are telling you, what nonsense is he saying? You should treat your husband anyhow. I'm telling out your husband. Don't be foolish. Don't forget what your own agenda is. You want to finish with you. You want you to achieve all his goals. So work out your salvation in your own home. There are no two homes that are the same. Understand your own spouse, and like our brother said, find a communication that helps you to understand one another and make it work for you. Build all the alliances that will make it work for you. Find all the help that you need. At the end, remember, children, honestly, my honest opinion, from age 10, if you are not careful, you have a nuisance factor with your children. You have to learn to understand their independence begins to be established at that point. You have to have a sense of communicating with them, but allowing them some sense of responsibility so they can go. 2, in this country, if we have any small change, we tend to destroy our children's life with our wealth. Because then we want them to be everything that we want. We don't bother to remember that they were made to be something of their own. And all we're supposed to be are facilitators of them manifesting their own gifts and their own talents. And if we do it right, they will be independent early. No, I know many grandfathers and mothers in Lagos who are still paying school fees of grandchildren. True or false? Yes. But the reason we got there is a lot of parents thought, oh, I suffered. I will not let my children suffer. And in every generation that succeeds, we manage to destroy the next generation. And we do not allow them to understand the value of hard work and commitment and diligence and discipline. Pay attention to that, so that if you raise children that can stand, you too, you can have peace of mind as you pursue your life, you pursue your career. Because, hey, I'm 61 now. When the grandchildren start coming, maybe they'll have their money. I know that, what's that thing Igbo people do? It's not in Igbo culture. No, on a serious note, I mean, mothers go and help their children. Luckily for me, I only have boys. So, girls are more comfortable with their own mothers. So I pray that every daughter of mine that comes home, her mother will be living. So that when she has the children, I will visit every day, send help, send gifts, send every support, but their mother will be there to help them. So they're more comfortable. That way they're not, who are you more comfortable with? Because when you're cranky, you can be cranky with your mom. You're careful to be cranky with your mother-in-law and all of that. That's just a joke, to be honest. Either way, what I want you to understand is balancing the act is about intentionality. One cannot be used as excuse for another. You must understand that no matter what you do as a wife or as a mother, the ball of you must never be dropped. If you manage you well, it helps you to succeed as a wife and as a mother. I found in my journey, children are proud of successful mothers. Let's be honest. And guess what? Husbands, no matter what they say, they're proud of successful wives. Why? At the end of the day, they can say, that's my wife. Okay. Because whose name do you bear? Do you know my father's name? Who paid my school fees? Ask me. Who taught me all the things that I know? The value of hard work and diligence and all of that. My father. My parents paid the price. But their wishikas are getting the value. So frankly, at the end of the day, if you go through the process of marrying a man who has capacity for you, and I keep repeating that because I've watched girls being told, keep yourself down so that you can find a husband. Why you keep yourself down to find a husband? You marry a husband that is down and that cannot match you standing. Why? Which means you are the one that deceived because you presented yourself wrongly and therefore you married the wrong person. You deceive the guy so you cannot change the game halfway through. But be all of yourself so that the guy who can see you, who has capacity for you, is the one that will come to you. Let me tell you the story of a friend of mine as I begin to run. So there's a friend of mine who built a successful business, but she wasn't married. At this point, she was about 44. And then she bought a house, a big house, inside Lekki. And everybody thought, how can you buy a big house like that? Nobody will marry you. You are living in a big house. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess who she married? The guy with the bigger house right across the road. Yeah. It's a true story. Because the guy with the bigger house right across the road, his wife died in a plane crash. Good neighborliness. Anyway, one thing led to the other. The husband, that is her husband, is the man. Would she have met the guy who lived across the road if she didn't buy the big house? What is the lesson? To thyself be what? To thyself. Live your life expressing the gifts of God in your life. Use them to bless humanity, to help build a nation, and to build your community. Whoever is called to you will find you. If he finds you, it will be the right one. Because you see that my husband, they were telling me then, no, he's working in NMBC, they call him civil servant. You, okay, what's the end of the story? In all my great career and building a manufacturing group and all my corporate work that I still do, 13 years into a marriage, President Obasanjo decided that what? All the smaller marginal fields should be withdrawn from the oil majors. If you have a brilliant engineer and a business-minded wife, what do you think will happen? You can do this, you can do that, you can apply. He followed his dream, applied, got one of the field, and I spent the last many years, I don't know, almost 20 years now. Yes, almost 20 years now, building a successful marginal field business. Okay, between furniture and oil. I beg you to that. So what I'm saying to you, it's not about the money and the title. It's about the man and the vision of unity that you have. If you're working together as a team, you can balance the out. Because there are days you cannot be present. The days you cannot be present, the gap is filled by your unity and oneness of purpose. Your husband will not stand against you, he will walk with you. If your stakeholders understand your vision, they will stand with you. When I was in business school, I remember when I'm home and I'm working in the study, my children, because I think my second term, I took them, it was over their summer holiday, so I took them to Barcelona with me for that whole period. My cousin was there to take care of them. I would leave from 7 a.m. in the morning and leave school, sometimes till 12 midnight. But they were there. I can at least touch them when I come back. My baby was a baby, remember? But at the weekend, I would take them to my classrooms, show them where my name is, my name tag at my seat, introduce them to some of my classmates working. They could feel and understand that, yeah, mommy is truly in school and she's doing this. So when I'm home and I'm studying, if you make mommy is studying, she's in school, they became my allies and the ones who were protecting the agenda of my life. Listen to me. I know that many times they say to the girls, you can't have it all. They lie. Because they lie. What is the all? To be a wife successfully, to be a mother successfully, and to be you successfully. You can, but the wisdom of doing it is what you must master. The understanding and the knowledge. You need the grace of God, so I hope you're praying with it. Because there are days you're going to have to be worried, fighting for your husband and your children and your home. But you will also know what your priorities are. In some of my sessions, I teach about the order of priority in my life. The order of priority in my life, I can share it with you. First is God. That's not church. That's God. Me and God's relationship 24/7. That's us. 2, my family. And that family has categories. My husband, my children, I go down to my siblings and anybody else who can fit in after. Then, my economic commitments. If I made a contractual commitment with you, I'm obligated. I have to keep my word. Because as a child of God, that is my testimony. That is my integrity, and that's my character manifested. And keep that. 4th, you can keep going on and build anything. It's important for you to work out what your priorities are. See, why is it important? The days you have conflicts. If you have resolved your priorities in advance, when you have conflict, you will resolve the conflict along the line of your priority. And when that works, then it works for you. I remember one of my toughest days. I used to head the business fellowship in church, and I had a business fellowship session in church from morning to evening. I finished about 6 in the weekend. I went across to the island where I live to go and change and get straight to the airport. Why? My second son was having a parents' meeting in school at 10 the next morning in Canterbury. Arrived in London, went home, had a bath, changed, had a bridal meeting, drove straight to Canterbury. Did parents' meeting between 10 and like 2. Took my son and his friends to lunch and all of that and left. Once then, Tara Derrickon, God bless him, was ill and he was in hospital in London. I went to Wellington Hospital, spent time with him till about 7 p.m. Left the hospital at 7, went straight back to the airport to catch a flight to Lagos. I had a board meeting the next morning. So I took Virgin that night, went on BA, came back on Virgin in the morning, went home, had a bath, and went to my meeting. When I finished, I went to sleep. You know, like if you've been following the American election, Tim Walz says we will sleep when we die. Frankly, the reality is, decide how much of your life you want to live. Decide what is important to you. Decide who your stakeholders are. Decide what values, by what values you want to live them. Why is the value important? Because in walking those priorities and walking this through, there will be situations that the cost of it is going to come back to those two. The reason I will never do something is because I owe my children the legacy of a good name. My father gave me one. I inherited one from my husband's family. I have proudly worn the Awoshika name, but my father gave me a good name. And above all of those, is as a child of God, I must die defending the name of Christ in my life. And based on those values, I live in those 3 offices every day without compromises when they present themselves, including paying whatever the price is. And sometimes you have to pay a high price to live those ones. But I have never been afraid of doing this. And that's why I could walk through the challenges of a first bank with a governor who had his own agenda, mismanaging and misusing the powers of the office, and I could rise above it and sit in multiple places internationally, globally. Why? Because the truth cannot be hidden. The Bible says you will know the truth. The truth will set you free. And also it says that every single thing will work together for your good. When it's over, you know, Yoruba people have one thing they say, that a lie can travel for what? 20 years. That in the 21st year, the truth will overtake it. Work this out. First, you must know what you want. Once you decide that you want to be true to yourself, then the way you respond in managing your relationship with your husband will be different. The way you respond in managing your relationship with your children will be different. The distractions that are offered, you know, I have evidence sitting there. My sister that is sitting there, our children were at King's School at the same time. And she knows that half-term exits are there. In fact, my house was the base for a number of all our children. Her children are my children. Because I always made sure. I remember one day my son said to me, "Oh, mommy, you never came to my rugby match." And that's another thing. You want this to work? You better know how to fight for yourself. No, very seriously. So my son said to me, "Oh, mommy, you owe me an apology." I said, "For what?" No, he said, "I'm obsessed with you." I said, "What did I do?" He said, "You've never been to my rugby match." I said, "No, because I've never been to your rugby match." "What about the match you had in this school that I came to one day and another?" I said, "Oh, no, you were late." I said, I was not late. From the moment I left London to try and find the Tonbridge that you were playing against, even though we got lost and everything, that was all your moment. I said to Stella today when she said, "Oh, that some people came before me," I said, no, I left my house at 5:20 a.m. in order to make a 6:45 a.m. flight with us. I said, You had my time from 5:20 a.m. That's what we did. That's me. I was earlier than all of them. No. You have to know how to reason what value. It's like going to Ibadan for a party, spending 5 hours on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, and you only spend 30 minutes there and turn around. Some say, oh, you only spend 30 minutes at my party. Are you joking? Did I spend 30 minutes at that party? No. I spent 5 hours and 30 minutes, and then God knows how many hours back. So you have to work it out. So otherwise they're going to burn you alive and you will never be able to balance it. So when my son said that to me, I said to him, you owe me an apology. He said, well, I said, the money my parents used to buy houses is what I use to fly in and out. Every 3 weeks for your exit, for every parents' meeting, for every after. Did I ever miss one? He said no. Did I do? He said no. I said, then he said I didn't come for one. You apologize to me right now. So my son looked at me and said, okay, mommy, I'm sorry, I apologize. Fight for yourself. Make sure you establish your fights when you should. Why? To balance this act, you have to understand what you're doing. You don't let anybody mess up your plan. You decide what it is. You decide what is important. Today was important to me. That's why I only got back from a long trip on Monday night, but I had promised them I would be here. And because of them is why I made the effort. My husband and I crossed on the road because he was arriving this morning, but I was catching a 6:45 a.m. flight and he came on Virgin. So we couldn't meet. We had 2 cars going in different directions. But he knows that these girls are important to me. See, the other thing, I keep going back to what he said, when you communicate what you love, and you communicate your vision, and you do it right, and you build the rapport and the relationship, your partners will love what you love with you. They might not always get there immediately. It is your responsibility to walk them gently until you get them there, so that you can get the support. If I want to do something and my husband says, no, I don't see why, I know that I will do it, but I will wait for him to get there. Why? Because I don't want him to be, like I said, to hell with you. I will manage him until I sell that vision to him. Because I know I will. And when I am done, I know that at the end he will realize why it was important for me to do that. And then over time, you gain credibility. They will trust your voice and what you have to do. So much to share. But I understand that time, I'm the one that has a board meeting. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless
you. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our diamond speaker, Mrs. Ibuku Awoshika. Please keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it going. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. If you were not blessed, I was. Keep the fire burning inside of you. Do not let it go out. Women, how many of you were blessed by it? Show your hands. I was blessed. I'm not going back the same. I hope you wrote. See my notes here. Thank you so much. So the Kilali tribe women would like to recognize this wonderful woman. And we would honor her today. But before we do that, we'll take a picture with her. So give us 2 minutes to do that. Yes. So we have a gift for you, Ma.
This young child represents a lot of traditions of the Niger Delta area, and we felt to have her dress up as a Niger Delta princess and queen. She also will be presenting some of what represents what she has on to you. But before I get to that, the mothers in the house spoke to me earlier and said that they would like to bless you with a River State name. Because you are now a daughter of River State. Auntie?
Mommy, just give us 2 minutes. Let's take a quick picture and then.
Should we take a picture first? Should we take a picture first?
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for this glitch. I'd like to call on Amy to do the presentation, to coordinate this session. So Amy, please coordinate this session, present the gift, we would name her and then take pictures in that order. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like we have said, we will hand over to our mothers in the house to give her the name that we choose to give to her. And after that, we have a symbolic gift for her because she means a lot to us as Kilali tribe. We call her the matriarch of the Kilali tribe. And we want to give her a gift that every day she opens her closet, she would see something that represents us. And we would never, we know we're always in our hearts, but we want to have something that symbolizes River State. It doesn't just symbolize River State, it symbolizes our name. And we know what Kilali means. And we have in a box Kilali, which would be used to adorn her today as she's being christened a full Rivers woman henceforth. So I'll hand over to Dame Toby to please proclaim the name.
It's not Rivers. No. We are blessed to have a new daughter, and she put so much into our younger ones. So we are proud to call her the unforgettable of the Niger Delta. The unforgettable of Niger Delta. Excuse me. If the unforgettable means, I don't know how to explain it in English. No, if the unforgettable is a worker, a forerunner, that worker, and she's always ready to give of herself. If the unforgettable.
And because we have respect as Kilali tribe women, because our matriarch has taught us respect, we give to the oldest person here to adorn her with a gift. Mrs. A, this is a gift from you, from the Kilali tribe. This is a Kilali. This is what is called the Kilali. It's a coral bead, but in this part we call it Kilali. And it is from this that we coined our name, because we believe that we reflect the beauty of where we come from. And we will hand this over to, we will hand it over to Dame Toby to please do the presentation and adorn her with wearing the Kilali on her neck.
You know, I just want to say that in case you meet me and you're wondering where I'm from. Okay, so now I'm Rivers. No, I'm in John. Now I'm in John. My mother is Cameroonian. So I'm Bayangi, Cameroonian Bayangi girl. And finally I'm a Yoruba girl. I'm an Ibadan girl married to an Ondo man. So I have plenty to try. And now I'm in John. So I am proudly in John. Thank you very much. I am most honored. Thank you. Most honored.
One picture, because I know you guys want your picture by that was we got here.
It is also my honor and pleasure, ma'am, on behalf of the Kilali tribe, to present you this award for your wonderful expose this afternoon. We have been so enriched, men and women alike, by your great words of wisdom. When we 2 or 3 years ago came to the conference, little did we know that we'd birthed this. So we remain eternally grateful, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to give you this award. Thank you.
Just hold on, we're stepping down, but we'd like the other speakers and panelists to be up here to take a picture with you. This one.
Please can all the speakers come on stage? Please come on stage. Please all the speakers come on stage. Please, Doctor. Whether you had your session or not, please come on stage. Kaline, where is she? Symphony, please come on stage. Please, can you stay on, please? Can you stay on, please? Just 1 second, please. Second. Let's all our special guests come on stage. Please, Tony and Mrs. Cole, please, can you come on stage for a quick picture? Mama, please, can you come on stage? Sorry to drag you up and down. Moments like this are very special to us. Please. Yes, please. Please, all our guests, please come on stage. Thank you. Yes, you're special. Sorry, we'll need to take this out of the way. And that is a wrap. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being great audience. And please, a round of applause to all our special guests and all the speakers. So please, let's take us some time to get to know each other. It is lunch break now. Lunch break starts now, and we are back at 2:30. Lunch break starts now, and we start at 2:30. We come back at 2:30. We have 2 sessions after now. So please come back for the 2 remaining sessions and the final performance by Kaline, our award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Lunch break. For lunch is on the side. please go through. Please, lunch is through that door. If you go through that door, turn to your left, you see two gazebos, two canopies where you can either, go to each of them. But please feel free to network, meet the judges to let us know if you are interested in this opportunity. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.